Okay, so looks like we're starting only 30 minutes late. But at least I don't think there's any problems, and we actually have almost all the players in. We're missing people from Americas, but let's be honest. Who cares that much about Americas? Well, we did have some good wars, but Incas left because they really didn't have much hope left, especially after losing this war too. And they are in a really bad spot now. Basically, they were.
It's German.
Yeah, it is because of a German. But we were saved because of a German because we didn't have a Russian, so I guess it all makes sense in the end. I guess someone pissed out from the Inca War because I did see blue flames for a second. Maybe Mamluks or someone. I'm wondering if we're going to actually get any wars in this session, or Nepal got pieced out by Punjab. Yeah, there's really not much left of poor old Nepal. In this late game, you can get so much land in a piece. It's like, oh lord, less than 500 death for Nepal. Killing countries is really fast. You can just take a few hundred death in one war. It might not be as much for Incas because I don't think that Ireland has that much. Oh, what was that called? Not authority. Yeah, absolutism. Only 26. But there are also bonuses from tech as well, 30%. Actually, let's see how much could they take if they just wanted to take 100%. There's a few very high provinces in Central America at this point. Yeah, honestly, not that much in a single war. They could potentially do a few separate pieces if they really wanted to, but it's depends on how much do they really need land. And since Friesland is actually still an AI, that's apparently going to come back next week, and there's just Hong Kong and Ireland, so it depends on how much, and Malaya, I guess. Not sure if Malaya actually wants some land, but possibly. What that does makes me wonder is oh yeah, I was going to say that it's probably going to be this week, and then the next week is going to be last session, simply because the time is going to be running out. We have the timeline ends 1821, so it's 63 years at this point. So honestly, not that much. Yep. I'm kind of afraid that it's going to be one of the less active sessions. I guess Italy is still probably going to be warring France, and Italy is allied to Mamluks and Mewar. And I'm thinking that they will support them. It looks like Italy is also just abandoning their European positions and is going to be defending themselves from Africa, which is a sensible approach. Where is their capital at this moment? It's still in Firenze. They could move it to Tunisia, then it would be much harder for France to actually get to it. And France also has a lot of land in Africa, but it is much easier for Mamluks and Mewar to reinforce in here. Otherwise they have to go across Byzantium, which is not impossible as well. There's a question of Lithuania and their potential wars. Last time they despite losing against Byzantium and Mewar, they did fare fairly decently, considering that Taiping only gave token assistance with like 100k, and Mewar was quite committed to fighting. The peace is going to last for 5 more years, the truce, and the Italian-French one is going to be 1 more year. Yeah, so I think most action is going to be happening in Europe, unless Asians agree to start another war between themselves. And without Nepal, it's going to be more interesting, I feel. Not sure what the teams would be, maybe Taiping, Hong Kong versus Punjab and more. But also Nepal was usually the one who was instigating those fights, so I'm not sure. Not sure if we're gonna get more of that. Damn, there's so many French troops. All of France is just covered with infantry stacks. Almost 1.5 million men in regiments on field, with additional dead in manpower, 100k cash. A bit of professionalism, which is already 300k manpower. Yeah, France is strong. The Dutch are fairly strong as well. Oh damn, they actually going almost 300 over force limit, and they can just afford it with no problem and still be super in surplus. Yeah, almost 3,000 ducats per month. They actually did manage to overtake Malaya. Lithuania did make a bunch of money because they got repaid the subsidies that the Netherlands didn't pay them, because of, like, he kind of forgot, so we just saved it. How is Lithuania doing right now when it comes to stuff like technology, for example? He can catch up. And yeah, a lot of people are not taking that 28th. It's not really that strong anyways. And he has finished all of his ideas as well. I wonder if Lithuania is not really building buildings, and I'm pretty sure he could be doing a lot of that. Fair bit of manufactories, yeah, those are pretty nice. Damn, that's a lot of pretty nice manufactories, production. Oh damn, Dalaskogan would be very nice. Additional almost 2 decades per month. Yeah, that after like 15 years it would pay for itself. So actually that would be... You need something as good to even make it, because there's not that much left. Manpower, not that many great provinces, but force limit, yeah, a lot of great force limit potential from Lithuania. And he has the money. But maybe he wants to save it to for actual fighting, and I think he built a lot of new forts in the area, which is very good, of course. Byzantium, everyone has so much money, but Byzantium is on top of building manufactories, on top of building basically everything. He just doesn't have space anymore for buildings. Yeah, just usually in the farmland provinces. And Dev is pretty nice as well. Yeah, there's just 20s all over the place. Nicely Dev. And he didn't control most of this area for a long time. I mean, at this point a lot of places have been devved by even other people. Yeah, India is pretty nicely devved. Mamluks are killing the remains of Morocco. Just a tiny bit here. Actually, that's... How is Morocco affording that many troops? Huh, somehow he's still making decent money. Like, I think you'd barely be able to afford like 10k. And I think it might be a surprise to Mamluks as well, because does he have any bigger... Yeah, he's only now bringing a bit more troops. Mossy is a vassal of France, yep. Then they're taking their sweet time with the Incas. I guess they cannot really push further because they're blocked by forts. But they do have a lot of transport, so they could just go around them. And there's all of... What? Why are all the Mamluks troops in here? I don't think they were here before. Let's see what the Mamluks are actually doing with this army. Oh, yeah, that's the troops that are going to Morocco. Okay. What are they? Are they moving more troops to South America? But why? They have over 200k in here. And I think it only became possible... I don't remember if they already started moving them in the last session or... Huh? That's a lot of troops that might end up being useful in Europe pretty soon. When fighting against probably France. I don't think Mamluks and Loire would be fighting each other. And Byzantium could bring someone else to fight Mamluks. How strong are Mamluks anyways? They don't have that many reserves, and I mean, they are not as impressive as France, for sure. The France kind of got ahead yet again. And only one cannon stack. France has 4. Damn, that's... Byzantium has 3, Netherlands have 2. The commodity is straight up 40, yeah. Loire has 3 cannon stacks, 3 for Punjab, 4 for Taiping, 3 for Hong Kong. I think 4 is the most you can... I mean, you can have more, but it all depends on how many fronts you're fighting. Oh, it's... yeah, Italian war started, okay. The most important part is who's going to join. Yep. Oh, actually it's Italy that started this war on Algeria. Which means if he occupies all of Algeria, he can and just end the war. Because he's fighting for a vassal. Oh, it's a fake war, I think. Looks like a fake war, to be honest. He's doing some pretty quick conversions, gotta say. Plus 13 to missionary strength, pretty nice. It has to be a fake war, right? Because they're not really doing anything. France is recruiting some troops, but he's recruiting manpower troops, so almost 2 million force limit, god. He can have so many troops. Italy's now recruiting mercenaries? Okay, Mamluks and Mawar joined Italy. That's illegal though. Yeah. 2 top 5s. And actually it's the France that gets to choose who is going to peace out. Someone has to peace out. Yeah, and unfortunately Lithuania and Taiping are quite far behind Mawar, so they're not going to be overtaken anytime soon. Someone has to peace out. Or they can start a separate war, of course, that's always a possibility. That's what the Mamluks did last time. Ah, yeah, it's actually a real war. Because only now France is increasing their maintenance. I think I will make sure that let me check the rules real quick. Yeah, France actually gets to choose, so that's everyone is going according to the rules. And yeah, Mawar, as you'd probably expect, Mawar is going out. Fasson. That's subject maybe? Oh yeah, wars declared for subject land have to be announced so at start and when they have 99% war score on the subject at any point 4 years after the start of the war. So that's pretty soon actually. Including thinking war score from the overlord has to accept peace for the occupied subject land. Subject war score is visible in the subject blue screen. Also applies to AI subjects. Yeah, so basically France has to protect this piece of land if they want to retain peace, and it's going to be very convenient for Italy because if they just manage to get any peace on Algiers, they will be able to get another 15 years of truce. And I mean, at this point, every 15 years counts for a lot. But Italy, I mean, those are modern forts. Taking those will be difficult. I'm surprised that Italy didn't prepare a bit more for the initial advance into Algiers. He could be at the strait by this time if he actually went for it. I guess he didn't realize how close the end of the truce was, so he just declared as soon as it was without preparing his armies properly. Now they're moving into the forts, but that's a lot of forts. That's level 9 as well, but he can go around it, so it's not a big deal. Not enough French troops though, just 160k. Will not be enough to stop the entire Italian army, not to mention a whole bunch of Mamluk troops. And what are the Inca troops doing? They're still just sitting here. And they're not even moving back that quickly, to be honest. It's going to take a while for the sieges to end in South America. They need like 20 more war score from provinces, and then they get the ticking war score as well. And out-microing AI in this kind of scenario is kind of annoying, because AI will be running in this tiny stacks and reconquering provinces all the time. Catching them is going to be a nightmare. It is a bit worse than actually fighting against the player. Oh, Italy is not faring that well against 11 moral France. And okay, now the roll is a bit better for Italy. Will he be on time? Oh, just barely, I think. But he will be missing some cannons in the back, which is unfortunate. Already, yeah, only 7k cannons in the back row. And Mamluks are reinforcing as well, but they're going to be way too late, I feel. On the, like, a week more? Yeah, that's way too late. Okay, so that didn't work exactly as planned. And Mamluks are going without a cannon stack, so that's going to be pretty bad. At least they have a leader. They were stack wiped. And now this French Italy. Oh damn, that was Ooh. Meanwhile, France lost 40k infantry and still has 80k in reserve. And there's like a million troops in Italy right now. Yeah, and the more are going south, but this was pretty bad for Italy. There were no scorched earth used, which is very nice because it reduces the speed of your enemies minus 50%. So it's very good to use suddenly before the battles to delay their reinforcements. Oh, that infantry stack. Oh, they just will manage to run away. There are no cannons for Mamluks here. So the Italian cannons will have to do, and they are going to be full in the next tick. So they can start on a battle, but they did lose that one fort. The war goal actually is on Michigia in here, which has Umbrian culture. That's random, to be honest. Yeah, so Italy has a proper stack now. They might actually want to start battles with additional like 3 combat whiffs of infantry at this point. Yeah, defensive edicts everywhere for... Oh, actually not everywhere for Italians. They forgot one in Abruzzi, which is a important fort because it's mountains as well. So that's a lot of defensive ability. And there's an actual fleet battle going on. There's 60 galleys for France, but I think that's too many actually. They have over combat with... Yeah, and Italy is actually going to be fighting this properly. Yeah, now Italy is withdrawing and going again with another stack. So eventually... Oh, there's the Mamluks fleet in here as well. If they continue to time their attacks correctly... but actually France is also not doing a terrible job, because even though they got caught in here, there's a lot more here in the Gulf of Valencia that are waiting. The Admiral is better for... I mean, he has less maneuver. I'm not sure how pips are relevant in this case, but Mamluks have a lot more morale, and apparently that's the thing that decides wars. Yeah, everyone is not pushing anywhere because they're just focusing so much on the naval battle. Yeah, it looks like the French are going to be pushed back. But the naval control is going to be contested. It's not going to be just one-sided like usual in wars. If you want to keep control of the sea, you actually have to use a lot of micro to fight with your enemy. So it's an... I wish all the naval warfare in EU4 worked like this, where both sides, like, even if the Italians win every battle, they actually have to pay a lot of attention, because it's not going to be a super easy win for them. But unfortunately, when you actually make your country into a naval nation, then you just crush your enemies without any problems. Dutch are coming to pirate, probably wherever the Italians are gathering their money. So maybe Tunisia? No, there's French have all the trade here as anyways. So I'm not sure where they're going. Italy is losing a fair bit of manpower just sitting here, especially because of that infantry stack. Maybe they're waiting for the additional stacks of Mamluks, but they're only bringing infantry. And if they're not able to set up proper battles when they can reinforce as much as they want, then it's going to be difficult. Oh, looks like Malaya peaced out. And I think Mamluks are starting to withdraw their troops. What did Malaya take in the end? Let's see, what's the truce? It looks like it's just barely anything. Maybe even just a white piece. I'm not sure how useful that's. I mean, maybe they're just leaving more land to Ireland, Friesland, and Hong Kong. Okay, looks like Italy is preparing for another charge. There's a lot more French troops now here, though. And that's a lot more. And they're not in the most fortunate positions because, I mean, he's going to be reinforcing Titeri, so the 160k in Iberia is quite far. And if Italy was really feeling annoying, they could potentially capture this province. Oh, they're building a fort in here. So that's not going to be a problem for a while longer, but if they are able to keep at least their partial naval advantage, then... I mean, if they move 2 more armies in here, then it's going to be a bit less of a problem. Even though the... no, they're not even going to be eating... Wait, what? Oh! The French are actually sending a fair bit of troops to Sahel Africa to fight against the Mamluks, who are just using tiny stacks to... Oh, we lost France, by the way. So that's going to be a moment to wait, because we cannot continue playing without France, obviously. Oh, apparently we also have some bugs, so that's probably going to be a rehost. Oh no, no rehost, just rebooting the game for Red Banana. Okay. Or is it slaying? Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's France that actually had the Windows update, so we're waiting for him to reboot the game, and then we're going to start. Oh, that's quick, gotta say. I gotta say, that's a pretty quick restart of the game and PC. And Dunzo. It's the always most nervous moment, waiting for the 100% safe to transfer. Okay. Now Italy is going for a second Oh yeah, because that's another fort, they can enter this province as well. That's the problem with forts. Sometimes building more forts will... Oh damn, that's a good fight for Italians. Still no cannons. Oh, the French are not even going to try to bring cannons, so that's going to be a stack wave. Possibly. No cannons in here though, and not even a stack wave. Oh, that's going to end up worse for the French in the end, for the Italians in the end. That might be a stack wipe though. And no leader as well. Oh, that's pretty bad. That hurt a lot. Yeah, but they withdrew, which actually is better for them. But now they don't have any reinforcements anywhere close. Mamluks are coming, but they're still not advancing, and they're withdrawing it again. Yep. This thing didn't work out at all. Yeah, but what I was saying is that having more forts sometimes is detrimental, because it allows enemies to walk into provinces they otherwise wouldn't be able to, because once you enter the fort's area of control, which is this province, you can go only to other fort provinces, which means that here, and because there's a fort here as well. I'm not sure if it would work like that if there was only a capital fort though. I'm not sure if how the game considers capital forts. Are there actual forts just without zone of control, or is it just a it doesn't really matter for the zone of control matters? Oh, that's a huge stack wipe. I mean, the problem for Italians is that French troops are just so much stronger, so much more morale, a bit more infantry compatibility, which counts as well. And discipline is a bit better for Italy, but not by much. Oh, French have almost all possible age abilities already. I mean, there's still a lot of troops in here. The problem is how many of the Mamluk troops are actually on the front line. Let's see, there's a lot of them still in Americas, and they only have 10 transports to move them, and they're moving in a very strange direction. And this 120k of French troops are going to be a big pain for the Mamluks. I think that the biggest problem right now is the what is like almost 200k still is stuck in South America. Oh, looks like they mostly took land in Central America, Ireland and Hong Kong, but not even finishing a lot of those provinces. This one is... where's the 40 dev one? Yeah, this one. It's a pretty good province. So Incas are still not really touched by the wars when it comes to proper South America. A lot of the dev was here, to be fair. Yeah, so almost all of Italy is occupied already. The Hungarian, Croatian part of Italy is also getting occupied quite quickly. And in the same time, Italy didn't even manage to capture 1/4 of the Algiers vassal. France is... I mean, to be fair, France did lose almost 500,000 men, but I bet most of it is to attrition. Yeah, probably. Only 100k lost in battles. Meanwhile, Italians, I'm betting a lot more. It doesn't show their attrition properly because the attrition in their own lands just doesn't count because paradox logic. But I'm pretty sure they lost a lot of troops to stack webs. Taiping is killing Nepal as well. What is he going to take? This Assam part? I guess possibly Punjab even left it for him. Oh yeah, it's all part of the Burma trade now, so I'm betting that it was left on purpose by Punjab. Makes sense. I mean, if France moves their entire army into Africa, then there's not much hope for Italy and Mamluks. And even then, Mamluks... how strong are Mamluk troops? They are actually a bit better in morale than the Italian ones. But still, I mean, they need to deal with the 200k in the south. because that's going to be a problem. They need to build more transports, that's for sure. And they're not really doing that, unfortunately. They are building more forts, but that's way too late at this point. Mamluks can do a lot of stuff. They are making a lot of money, they have a lot of manpower and so on. But they need to actually be doing it. Oh, looks like they're going to be using Mamluks as a front line or not? Maybe. Yeah, but they would need to win a real battle versus the French. And even then there's what, 300k, 400, half a million men in Italy still. And additional 300k in the south. Ah, that's going to be so difficult. They are preparing for it. They have 2 cannon stacks now. Italy only has 1 overall. Yep. Mamluks have 3. And let's see where all their cannon stacks are. Oh, they're actually sending one south. And they do need a bit more troops to support it, because 1v1 I'm pretty sure Mamluks are going to lose. Especially when you consider that their generals... Oh, actually they have a very nice general, 6-5, that's very nice. That's actually better than anything the French have. 5-5 for Italians, pretty good as well. And the 5-6 for French is the best they have, but fire is a bit better than shock. I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but it's something at least. Oh, the Italians are actually assaulting the fort, which is a very bold move. And now they actually made it. So that's pretty good, I have to say. And the French are not doing anything about it. Damn. Yeah, they could just consolidate and move more reinforcements, so it worked out pretty nicely, gotta say. The next fort is just drylands with a river crossing. That's actually a pretty nice fort. Not perfect, they probably would prefer like one here maybe, but still a pretty good fort. Especially since there's a capital in here anyways. The problem is, I'm not sure if the French are going to be caught like this again. And there's a bit more garrison troops in here. Something happened to the Persian trade node. There's almost 300 decades in here. Almost 1,000 in channel. Let's do a quick check of where the most money is. Still 100 in Constantinople. Oh, because that's the main place for the Byzantines. Another super rich trade nodes. Are the Umbawar is actually gathering in Persia, and Punjab is gathering in Samarkand, but he's losing 50 decades to Astrakhan. I guess it's both Lithuania and Byzantium pushing. And Malacca is only a bit over 5,000. Just a lot less than the channel. Yeah, looks like the Italians are preparing to move into another province. I'm not really sure what's going to be their target. They could go for Dara, or... I mean, I think they should go for Dara because it's a fort on drylands as well. So I think it's the best possible next province to attack, because otherwise they're going into highlands. And they're not really winning much, just taking those provinces. Because at this point we're just entering a World War I kind of scenario where they're just using all of their troops to win single provinces. Pretty much. Now, even if the French are beaten in one battle, as long as they have some reinforcements left, and I mean, I think that's the best bet for the Italians. There's something new starting, but I'm gonna see in a sec. That's the best bet for Italians, that they catch some stacks unprotected and manage to snipe a province. Because I'm not sure if they can win a full battle. It looks like a new a war between Lithuania, Byzantium, Mewar, and Punjab. Oh, damn, Lithuania is in a pretty bad spot right now. I mean, if typing actually goes all in, and at this point, why not? It's Byzantium, Punjab, and Mewar versus Lithuania. Yeah, if typing goes all in, then it's going to be a fight. Looks like Punjab is not really doing anything. Is it? Yeah, it is a real war. Started by Lithuania, actually. Okay, interesting. It looks like they will be able to take some land. The Byzantines have almost 1 million troops, and Lithuania has a bit over 1 million. So they are similar. Still all quiet on the Italian front. Looks like the French, were they beaten or are they just withdrawing? Where's the 120 stack? Don't see. They might have withdrawn. Hard to say, really. Yes, like Lithuania is going to be able to take at least one fort pretty easily. At the start, oh, that's scored there. So a good start for them, but there's a lot more forts. Not a great terrain, got to say, though. Like, Byzantium will only get a decent fort in Bulgaria. I mean, they don't even have a decent fort in here. So it's just farmland forts all the way to Constantinople. Mewar and Punjab are not going anywhere, though. Maybe it's a 1v1 and everyone is just agreeing to it. Which is pretty nice. There's a small naval battle going on between heavies. And Italians have way more naval morale. So they will probably win this. And actually, I mean, this battle doesn't really matter that much. It's like, what are they fighting over? I guess the French are fighting because they can. There's definitely not enough Mamluk troops to push the French from here. And there's 30 galleys in here from Italy, but that's not an inland sea, so that's why they're probably not supporting. Oh! Italy lost all their heavies. More French troops coming. Oh, Lithuanians started the battle versus Byzantium. I think Byzantium has a better general, but only in fire. It's pretty close overall. Lithuania is even starting a second battle as well, and it's just a crossing at worst. Fairly similar generals, slightly better with fire. Oh, Byzantium actually wins the one on Lublin. The reinforcements for Lithuania are kind of way back. There's another cannon stack going for Lublin, and there's a 250,000 men just sitting here, so that's going to be a good battle for Lithuania. He might be reinforcing with a bit too small stacks. maybe? I mean, with 20k doesn't really help you. They're not doing too shabby, I have to say. There's not that many Byzantine reinforcements left. They have a lot of them just sitting in Crimea, not doing anything. If Lithuania properly reinforces, I think they're going to take this. Yeah, good roll for Lithuania. And that's all reinforcements Byzantium has. Oh, Lithuania is probably going to lose this one, but they will win that one. And even if all of those troops reinforce Lublin, then it's still not going to be enough. Ah, that's too bad. If Lithuania actually kept their reinforcement a bit closer, they probably would have been able to win both of them. And Byzantium is almost done here. Yeah, they're breaking. Okay, and that's it. There's a new battle starting now. The timing was kind of off. Oh, stack wipe. That's unfortunate. I think he was actually trying to reinforce, and that didn't work out. When was the Golden Era started? Yeah, it was for the previous war. And Byzantium, it just ended a while ago. Okay, so good start for Lithuania. The first actual battles are being won. They do not actually need to siege that fort because it is protected from the south by their Hungarian possessions. And they can just take this province and then start sieging without any problem. That's pretty nice for them. And as I said, there's not really too many good forts for Byzantium. The French are actually going to be the ones that are going to be pushing into Mamluks. Oh, and they actually annexed all of Algeria. Oh, what? Why is the Mamluk morale so low? What happened? Why was their morale so low? I mean, I think they will be able to reinforce on time, probably. It's just a few more days, but they should hold on until then, at least. And the Italians made it. But they definitely need more good rolls for Mamluks. Yeah, they are making it. Oh, it's a 0. That's very unfortunate. Maintaining this battle, I mean, I think at this point there's more French troops than Mamluk and Italians. And the French are going for a second battle as well on the Titeri fort. I mean, it's going to be a -1 for the French, but still. There's just so many French troops. The south, the Mamluks are protecting at least their steppes fort, but the French could attack the Italian Africa from the south. Who has the better generals? The better Italian general is in Titeri, so that's good. And the best Mamluk general is in Mitidja, so that's good actually. Oh, the French general has a trait though, -10 shock damage, which is always pretty nice. There's so many men dying, but yeah, it looks like Italians gave up on the northern battle, which makes sense to be honest. They don't really need this province, but the fort is what counts. And now since Algiers is occupied, then they lost all hope of actually winning this war by just occupying this part of the war. But to be honest, at this point, if they just occupy the war goal and get a few battles won, then they will probably have enough war score to force peace. But they have to actually protect the fort, and that's going to be difficult. There's not that many reinforcements left, like 150k in here. Meanwhile, France had like over 500,000. Most of them in this province. Just not enough. There is a lot of troops in reserve. The Italians and Mamluks are reinforcing quite quickly. But still, the morale even of those reserves is very low. Oh yeah, there's a lot of reserves going away. And Italy is going to be kind of running out of manpower, to be honest. All the beaten troops are regaining manpower in Tunis. I mean, there's just so many more French troops in here. Where are the Mamluks armies? There's still a lot in South America. And the French are actually going for Congo as well. And there's like one fort in Congo. No cannon stack anywhere. The French don't have a cannon stack as well, so it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, that's... I mean, right now the French have almost 50% just from the battles and the war goal. And it was some pretty big battles, I could say. Meanwhile, Lithuania is in a big battle going on for Przemysl, the Battle of the Przemysl Fortress. The World War I just keeps on coming back. Oh, someone actually hosted me. Hello, and I'm not sure why, but thank you. DR Samart. Okay. Byzantium actually... Oh, the Lithuanian troops are collapsing. They need to get cannons back because they actually don't have any cannons right now in the back row. So it's going to be really hard for them. They're not moving their cannon stack in. Nope. And this one is just sitting here going to Lvov for some reason. I mean, somehow they're still forcing this battle to go on with no cannons. They're losing so many men in the fire. And yeah, they're just defeated anyways. Now they're moving their cannon stack, which is a bit late. They're going to probably get stack wiped with this stack as well. Oh, and some of their troops are just getting caught up in Hungary as well. Oh, stack wipe. Yeah, so for everyone who's just joined, there are basically two wars going on. There's a Lithuanian-Byzantium war in Eastern Europe. Punjab and Mewar are in, but I think they're not really taking part in any way. I guess they have a deal with Taiping, who in theory is an ally of Lithuania, that Asia is just not intervening in Eastern Europe, and those two are fighting one-on-one. Byzantium won the last war taking this chunk of land, but now Lithuania is coming back, and last time Byzantium won mostly because of the Mewar's support, so it could go both ways. Meanwhile, we have Italy trying to retake at least some of their lands from France. And they have support of Mamluks, but the French are super strong. And basically, Italians gave up on Italy and their European holdings. So they're just trying to push into Africa and hopefully force the French to peace. But actually, it's the French who have over 50% war score right now. The French have enough troops to fight them in North Africa, and also to force Mamluks out of Sahel Africa, and even send some troops to Congo. But I think the French in here were actually defeated, maybe even stack wiped, because I don't see them anywhere. Yeah, it looks like at least the Mamluks were able to defeat Congo. And basically, French have almost 1.5 million men, with a force limit of almost 2 million, and manpower to match. They actually on paper have less troops than Italy and Mamluks combined, but the problem for Mamluks is they continue to have a lot of their troops stuck on South America from the last session, where they were helping Incas fight versus Ireland and Hong Kong. Let's see, so Byzantium is pushing back. They actually took a fort in Slovakia and are going to be retaking Nowy Sącz as well. I mean, I think that in 1v1 Lithuania might be able to win this, but for the time being it's Byzantium that has 100k more troops. Let's check the army quality. Byzantium has a lot less morale, a bit more discipline, a bit more infantry compatibility, and importantly Byzantium has a lot more professionalism. So they can afford to fight for a long time with Slackens. They actually have maximum manpower of over 1 million, which is quite a lot for Byzantium. More than Lithuania, who has Russian ideas. Force limit is, I think, a bit higher for Lithuania. Yeah, by 200 regiments. And Byzantium is not going over too much. Just a few 100k. And yeah, Lithuanian troops are actually recovering. The problem is for how long. And they still have decent manpower, but no professionalism. Actually, with just one more general, they actually would be able to slacken at least once. Italians are stuck. There's just so many French troops in North Africa, they're unable to do anything. And I mean, to be honest, the French should be able to push in Sahel as well into Ethiopia. Mamluk troops are a bit better than Italian troops when it comes to morale, at least, but Italians both with Mamluks are just way behind Revolutionary France, who has almost 12 morale, so that's pretty good. It's going to be a difficult war. Yeah, I am a bit surprised that the French are not trying to push into Tunis. I'm pretty sure they should be able to. Lithuanians are just recruiting mercenaries, basically everyone they can, which is very smart because they need to preserve their manpower. Unlike Byzantium, who can spare a bit more manpower troops, I feel, with their professionalism. They're still using over 100 regiments. There's going to be a battle in Przemysl. I think both sides should be able to reinforce pretty well, so it all depends now on how well their timings work out and how many troops they actually put into the battle. It is going to be a -2 actually for Lithuania, so that's pretty bad actually. Yeah, they should be reinforcing from Belz. And yeah, the morale is... oh, great roll for Byzantium as well at the end. And now they're withdrawing. That wasn't really a perfect approach to Przemysl. You really don't want to have a -2, that's the worst thing. And now Byzantium is using the fact that they took all this land in the previous war to easily occupy the Lithuanian Hungary. And that's some modern force as well, so that's would be pretty difficult to take otherwise. France is actually recruiting troops for some reason, even though I guess they slackened or did something, but yeah, they're just 1.7 million men. I mean, with almost 14k manpower recovery per month, they're probably gaining manpower as we speak. Meanwhile, Italy's spent. They just don't have anything anymore. Even Mamluks are not doing too hot, to be honest. And they are not sure what happened here. Yeah, but Mamluks are not trying to push anymore. Byzantium is attacking Nowy Sącz, which should give them a terrain bonus. Only -1 now for Lithuania though, so that's pretty good. Let's see who has the advantage in numbers. There is 150k more of Lithuanians, and they are attacking in Przemysl, which is right now it's a very good idea. They're going to cut off almost all reinforcements to Nowy Sącz except of this 100k, which is half cannons anyway, so they're not going to be doing so hot on the front line. And they can keep this one battle going for a pretty long time, even though it's not really good setup when it comes to terrain, especially with rolls like this. With rolls like this, you don't really care about terrain. They do need to reinforce properly over here though. And another question is, where will the Byzantine troops retreat from here? I think they would go properly to the safe lands, but if they go somewhere around here or Krakow, that would be pretty bad. And they actually might be able to win Przemyśl as well, the Lithuanians. There's not that many troops left for Byzantium. Oh, they're actually going between the forts. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Lithuania might be able to win Przemyśl anyways. They do need to reinforce pretty quickly though. The front line is not going to last for too... Oh, it is actually already breaking. They should be able to get there on time. Right? Oh, nope. That's pretty bad. Scorched Earth done by someone. That means that all the Lithuanian troops are getting minus 50% to movement. There are still no cannons for Lithuania, so this battle is very bad for them. Especially with -2. But they did win one battle over here, and that means that they might be able to take Nowy Sącz, which will then lead to them retaking Prashev. And this is the only fort with good terrain for Byzantium anywhere close. Yep, they have the fort now, and it's Byzantium that's going to get a -1 from now on. Looks like Italy was beaten in some minor battle because they don't seem to be retreating with too many troops, just this frontline stack. They might be losing a fort in Kabylia. And I mean, at this point, France might be just waiting for enough ticking war score and just take land in Italy. I don't think they care too much about Africa anyways. They just took all of this land because Morocco was an AI, so they just could. And I'm pretty sure they could push in here as well. But maybe they don't have the micro to spare. Mamluks are actually going to be engaging into Kabylia. So let's see how they do. They are already starting to reinforce. I mean, there's still a lot of troops, but I feel like the French are just, with their quality advantage, doing much better. Oh yeah, the front lines is actually already breaking. But I mean, there's a lot of reinforcements, so this is going to take a while. Pretty good roll on the French side as well. Do they have perfectly equal leaders? Yeah, they do. But the French one has a -10 to shock, which is always nice to have. Oh, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate rebels. And those are not fighting anyone, just going to Thierry. Okay. I mean, both sides have a lot of reinforcements, but at the same time the French are sieging Biskra. So even if they lose one battle, they're still going to take a fort, because there's no way the Italians or Mamluks can afford to start a second battle. And I mean, they're doing their best, but I don't really see it. And yeah, Lithuanians are going to be retaking Prashev, which means they're already pushed 2 forts into Byzantium, and it's only going to get easier from there. From there they can just go straight to Constantinople through grasslands and steppes fort, which are not the best defensive positions. They will have some pretty nice crossing, like this province has a crossing from every other province, which is pretty nice. But I mean, even crossings can be denied by a good enough maneuver on the general. There's only Italian troops left, with the last Mamluks joining battle right now. I feel like the French are really getting good rolls, and again, 8 after 8 to 0 and 2 of Mamluks. Oh, okay, now it's going sort of the other direction, but overall I feel like the French are a bit more lucky especially now. Even when the Mamluks do get a good roll, it's not as effective as when the French do, because obviously they have better troops. And there's a bunch of Italians still left. They really need to move this 2 stacks to the front. And they're reinforcing basically with all they have. But they have 75k left in reserve, and meanwhile there's additional 500,000 French in the area just running around. So there's like really no problem for the French. They're still above their maximum manpower. We might need a coalition of the entire world to beat the French down, honestly. And Italy will not be able to fight for much more, to be honest. They're out of manpower. They actually might be running out of cash in a few years as well. Not that they will be able to hang on in this war for that long. And even Mamluks are actually out of manpower. And yeah, that's the final 1k. Meanwhile, the French captured 2 forts. This one is level 2, so it doesn't really matter much, but still, this will make finishing Italians and Mamluks pretty easy. Since where they are withdrawing? Yeah, behind the Kairvan fort, which means yeah, the French actually just cut them off. It's going to be a giant stack up in here. Damn. Not much happening meanwhile in the Lithuanian front. The numbers advantage is still on the Lithuanian side. A fair 150k of infantry. Both sides have 3 cannon stacks. And let's see, it looks like this time the Lithuanians are going to learn from their mistakes and attack from bells, which means no crossing penalty on Przemysl, but it will mean -1 from woods. Actually they should just go for Lviv, because there's no river, no terrain bonus. They don't really need to push in here, to be honest. Let's see what they do. I'm just going in here. I mean, this stack is kind of open to a snipe from the Przemysl stack. Malaya is attacking Maya and Salish, which is like their tiny remains in Americas. And I don't think there are any other wars going on. Mewar is still in this war, but he's not participating anywhere, right? Yeah, all of his troops are sitting in Iraq or India. The Lithuanians are still not starting a battle. Meanwhile, the Italians are trying to break through Sfax. And they will not break through, I'm pretty sure, but at least they will get a withdrawal towards Sirte, I feel. That's the plan right now. Oh no, they're not getting the withdrawal that they wanted. And Mamluks as well are going to Tunis. Yeah. So now the Italians are just surrendering to the French. And let's see what the French actually take. I'm pretty sure they're just going to take more of Italy. Like the Genoa trade node. Or maybe Venice. Probably mountain forts as well. At least that's what I would do, but it doesn't really matter. Like, Italy is going to be finished after this war. Let's see how much they can take. I'm pretty sure quite a lot. Yeah, basically most of Italy in a single war. And that's a lot of death. All of them basically 20. If Firenze 50 death. Pretty good, pretty good. This time with Mewar. I mean, if Mewar actually joined. But how long is the... Mewar doesn't actually have truce with France. Also, the French basically took all the Genoa trade node area of Italy, except for the islands, which he will have problems with controlling because of the naval supremacy of the Italians, which I mean could be disputed. I feel the Italians do have 1 point morale, so maybe not, to be honest. Oh, it's the Byzantines that are actually going to start a battle in Belz. Lithuania was still thinking about attacking Przemysl, which I don't think is the way to go. And it's always better to have a defensive battles, by the way, because for some reason it just works out better. Mewar is going to peace out, so it's just going to be a straight up 1v1. And it's still a -2 for Lithuania. I don't think attacking Przemysl is a good idea. And really they have no need to really do it. And they're doing okay in Belz for now. If Lithuania could win in Belz and then wrap around Przemysl, but yeah, it just didn't work out. Why attack a -2 province when you can just attack a perfectly neutral one in Lvov? I mean, especially when the enemy is actually attacking you, which is, you cannot get any better. The generals are fairly even. The Lithuanian one still doesn't have a trait, so if he could actually get a like +10 infantry compatibility, that would be pretty nice for Lithuanians. Oh, I guess Lithuania is kind of busy to peace out Mewar. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea from Byzantium. He could try to siege Nowy Sącz, but that means that Lithuania could try and cash his stack in here. And yeah, now Byzantium needs to throw anything they can into Belz. But Lithuania is going into Przemysl yet again. I mean, they do have superior numbers, and they actually won in Belz. So now the stack sieging Helm is cut off. And he's going to try and run away. Where is he going? Yeah, just withdrawing. They might still catch him. Let's see where the Lithuanians are going. They're not really going in the correct direction. They might want to just recover their manpower. But that means that Byzantium is going to be pushed out of Przemysl, which is very good for Lithuania, because apparently it was working on him like red on the ball. And the forts are not in too great positions. Byzantium is going to take a huge hit to their manpower. Meanwhile, Lithuania, because of their mercenaries, is still doing fairly okay. Bigger problem for Lithuania is going to be their income. Right now they're spending over 1,000 on army maintenance. Most of it is in reinforcements, but still. They're not getting any money from Malaya anymore. They used to get a few hundred ducats in subsidies. Just because the money from Netherlands is a trade deal they have between each other. Hanging around with just this 120k is kind of risky for Byzantium. Especially since even those reinforcements that are full are just quite far away. Oh, we got a bot in chat. Or is it a bot? Last time the bot actually turned out to be speaking human language. So I'd be interested to find out, is SR Golden Sword 8951 a human or a bot? And there are some special signs that probably are there to cheat some kind of bot filters. So it's probably a bot, fair to say. So let's just get rid of him. Damn, gone. Did Byzantium use? They still have 50% professionalism, and I mean +5 land fire and shock damage is something. It's not much, but it's always some help in battles. So they will get their quality lowered over time. They still could reinforce with a lot of mercenaries. Of course, they don't really want to use them right now, because that would mean just burning professionalism, but they are below their force limit, so to be fair, I think they should just recruit a whole bunch of troops from regular manpower. They actually managed to gather quite huge reserves in treasury, so they have 70k almost remaining without taking a single loan. And they can take a lot of loans. Almost 160. Meanwhile, Lithuanians... Oh, Lithuanians also actually didn't take loans as I thought they did. So they're actually doing pretty okay on money as well. And they are pushing, so it's the Byzantines that are going to be losing loan capacity over time. Byzantium is trying to do a snipe on a fort in Severia, which is overall looks like Lithuania built quite a few decent forts where they could. Last war they had a problem because their fort line was designed to protect them against the Western Europeans. They used to fight quite a few wars against them in the past. So it was basically like lines, vertical lines in here. And when Byzantium and Bulgar came, they basically were able to move between those lines and push wherever they wanted. But Lithuania fixed this, and now they have a pretty universal fort line. Yeah, because basically you just need more forts, always more forts. That's how I approach those problems. Lithuania either didn't realize yet or is just ignoring this. Which, I mean... I hope they do not push into Halič now, because it's the last forest province with rivers all around, and just keep repeating the struggle of Przemysl. I think they're going for Podolia, hopefully. No, they are going for Halič. Why? Why? There's no reason to fight in this province, and it's as bad as it can get. I mean, if it was a mountain as well, then it would be worse. Oh, but this is interesting. Lithuania is maybe trying to do some sniping from the south. They would need to destroy this fort first, but it could be doable. Actually, the difference in morale between Lithuania and Byzantium is a bit bigger than I thought. It's almost 3 points. That's almost a big difference as the French have over the Italians. I mean, yeah. The 5 discipline is nice, but the more discipline you have, the less relevant it becomes. So Lithuanians are definitely the higher quality army here. They are getting in the end caught here, but it's 200k Byzantine troops fighting in here, not in Halič, so it's something. I think with the way the timing are going to end up, if Byzantium will be able to reinforce everything to Halič, but oh, that's really unlucky. They will take this fort eventually, but it took way longer than it probably should. Still not getting it, damn. That's really unlucky. And will they be able to make it? It's 18, 4 more days. Is Halič scored? It actually is. So it's worse for Lithuania, but that's going to be too... Oh no, just for Byzantium, they're going to make it on time. But with just... because of the numbers, Byzantium is not going to be able to win. Even though Lithuania started pushing into a woods province with a river crossing as well. For no reason, like he will win this battle and it doesn't benefit him at all. How long? Oh, hopefully Lithuania will not start breaking before those troops make it. But no, he made it. And yeah, with 100k more left for Lithuania, Lithuania is going to win, but barely. If Byzantium actually had all of their troops in this, they would be able to defend themselves. But we have to consider that it's Lithuania pushing into the worst province they could possibly in all of this area. Like, it's the last woods province between here and Constantinople. And even then, because there's no fort in Philippopolis, Lithuania doesn't have to fight in here. But seeing as they actually do every time push into woods provinces, so who knows. Okay, now they actually occupied all three of them, so that means they're safe for the time being. This Byzantine stacks is still just sieging without any problems. Wonder if Lithuania actually realizes that... I mean, once one fort is taken, they probably should, right? And they're going for double siege, which is fair. They have a free siege general, which is pretty nice. And one thing is, and it's nice that Byzantium is using the stack to just siege some stuff, but if Lithuania pushes hard enough into this area, so say they occupy Birland and Mansur, they can make all the forts occupied by Byzantium in this area irrelevant, because they have no access to them anyways. I think what would be better for Byzantium is to focus on sieging a bit more to the east. So it would be a bit more difficult for Lithuania to actually do something about it. And not to use actual full cannon stack with a good general. But I'm not even sure if that's worth it, because there's so many forts in here. I don't think they're going to substantially hurt Lithuania with those sieges, especially with luck like this. It's really some bad luck. And meanwhile, Lithuania is pushing two forts at once. They already took Podolia. They are pretty close to taking Ovruch. And this is hurting Byzantium way more because they're actually securing those positions. Meanwhile, Byzantium doesn't even have any reinforcements in here, so if this army could just get isolated by Lithuanians if they attack like Lubnie and Poltava. And actually Poltava is inaccessible because of those two forts. So this one province is okay, but any further and they're risking isolation. Looks like Lithuania is preparing to attack Cherkasy, and now they must realize that there's another stack sieging them. Salish is tank from Ireland as well. Oh, Malaya took a huge chunk of America, to be honest. A bit bigger than I expected. Mewar is declaring war on Nepal, which is just a pitiful remains at this moment. Yeah, so in the end I don't think it was worth it for Byzantium to send all of those troops to those two sieges. It would have been way more useful before Lithuania built all those additional forts, because then a single stack, even without any cannons, would be able to just occupy empty provinces all over the steppes. But right now, with so many forts, and with how badly Byzantium needs the troops to win anything, then I think it's better to just keep together. Especially since Lithuania is actually not sending troops to do anything about this, which is, I think, the correct move. Because usually people would send more troops to deal with your sieging stack. So in the end you can end up in a bit of a positive in actual main battle. But because Lithuania just didn't care, they managed to win on Halich, which they absolutely shouldn't be able to. And let's see how it goes now. Byzantium lost 20 professionalism in the meantime. They still are fairly good position. They actually almost have 10k manpower recovery per month. France is no longer in sync. Quite a few people actually have the magical barrier of 10k is still there, and I think only Mamluks in France are able to get over it. Looks like we're end typing as well. Looks like we're actually going to have a break because we might need a rehost for Red Banana, and I mean France is kinda important still. So we'll see how it goes. Let me actually see on Discord. What's the deal? Okay, looks like we are going to be rehosting. Let's save just in case. The switcheroo on the stream.
How's it going?
Hello. Yeah, it's a pretty good war you have there. I'm not sure how long this break is going to be.
It should be 15-20 minutes, I guess, because they said that they're going to rehost.
Yeah, I was hoping we were actually going to be without break today because we waited so long to actually start.
I don't think that that's possible, you know. There's always a reason to go for a break, but...
Yeah, especially now since the France is actually having some problems.
Yeah. Is he still at war? Or
no, the French won. Italy unconditional surrendered after they got surrounded in Tunis.
Oh yeah.
They didn't really have much of a chance.
Man, it's so stressful.
Yeah, but you're doing well. I have one question though. Why do you keep pushing into forest provinces that don't even have forts?
So I know the province that you're talking about, like the one next to the Carpathian Mountains, where I've lost like 2 battles.
And Halic as well. Actually, like there's 3 forest provinces in there, and you keep pushing into all of them.
I don't know. Like sometimes you're just doing things because your brain is on automatic, you know. Why? I was. You see, I wanted to secure those 2 provinces to put my 2 cannon stacks there to protect the 3rd cannon stack that would siege down the hill fort. You know, the one in Poland.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The fort was less defensive than those provinces that you were actually attacking.
Why? Why do you say so?
Because they have the terrain advantage. The fort is on the grasslands.
No, I'm talking about the fort in the hills. Like it's, I don't remember how it's called, but it's
like that's
south of Krakow.
Yeah. That's there was one as well, but I mean, there was like one time you were actually stopped preventing the Byzantines from reinforced the battle, so attacking them was a good idea, but like I feel
that's basically what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Really focused on the on those forest provinces. Luckily they're all yours and there are no more forest provinces until Bulgaria in the south, so you're doing good in that regard.
Yeah, but still it's so stressful. I know that she has like 40 professionalism, so I'm trying to like race against that.
Yeah, he does have less at this point. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Oh yeah, but I can.
The several
fun war to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty fun. Got to say, and the only one that's going on right now, so that's a double bonus as well.
Oh really?
Let's switch.
There was one battle where I really didn't understand why I lost. Maybe I rolled really badly. Where I was reinforcing, I had maybe 200k reinforcing, and then it just lost.
Yeah, you also have to pay attention to what the actual line looks like when you open the battle interface. So, for example...
But trust me, I have no time for that. The only thing that I'm doing is like putting the troops on force march and moving them to the battle. And still I'm late with that, so...
I saw you had like Mewar peace offer hanging for months.
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, so basically what happens sometimes is like you reinforce just in time, but your lines broke a bit, so you have no artillery in the back sometimes, because even when you bring them, the way the artillery comes to the back row is really slow and inefficient, even if you have the artillery.
Yeah.
So it can cause you to lose a battle, even though you have on paper more troops.
Yeah. This is why I'm trying to sometimes overstack a bit, so that I have a bit more time.
Apparently, because the reason you want to use stacks to reinforce is because even the troops in reserve take like a small penalty to morale. They lose it over time, but apparently, according to Jarvan, it's almost negligible. So it's always better to overstack than to understack. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. And now I've kind of made up a way that I can reinforce the battles, because before I couldn't reinforce the battles properly because I just couldn't manage the number of stacks,
You both have a lot of artillery stacks as well, so it's really easy to lose infantry stacks to just snipes and get stack wiped.
I'm kind of okay with that because I have the generals, and when there are 3 stars on a stack, then they kind of pop out a bit more. But for me, the problem is moving a bunch of stacks from all over to the battle. So what I've learned to do is to click on the stack and then immediately put on force march and then move them, one by one. Because if you select all of them, it's tragedy.
Yeah, I think you even lost one battle because your reinforcements were still somewhere around Prussia. And the battle was going on in the south, so it's difficult in late game. But a lot of people are bad in it, so
this way I've kind of noticed that. Well, at least I had maybe 2 battles where I did that. But if I put on force march and then move the stacks from all over, and I just click them one by one, they kind of end up arriving in between 5, 10, 15 days of each other. Sometimes.
Oh, by the way, do you know about Scorched Earth?
Yeah. I've been scorched earthing every single province. Trust me.
I've seen Byzantium doing it as well. So.
Yeah, in the beginning of the war he wasn't doing it, but now he started to do it, so I kind of hate him for it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad in Europe, but if someone scorches earth in steppes or I don't know, South America, it can be horrible. God, it takes half a year to get across.
Exactly. What happened in the last war? The war scorched earth my capital. And then I was moving from Finland, it takes
I remember
100 fucking years. Oh my god.
I remember that one. You were last ditch effort to retake St. Petersburg. I remember that one. Oh, did you have a deal with the Asians that no one intervenes and it's 1v1? Or did it just end up like this?
Yes.
Okay, so it was planned.
Yeah. Still, I really do not understand why he didn't go into Hungary. Because he could have. Well, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't really have the time. I think. I'm not sure how surprised he was by the declaration.
No. We agreed. I messaged him before. that I would.
Yeah, so it is kind of surprising that, I mean, maybe not the northern ones, but at least the two in the south should be pretty easy to snipe, and then he would have a nice mountain fort on his border.
Yeah.
So that's
because
that's
right now
surprising.
I was looking at his Wallachian fort, and it's grasslands, and I was like, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, best thing he has at this point is rivers, and even then, not perfectly. Like, you can go to Constantinople with nothing but grasslands and steppes fort. So it should be pretty doable right now.
I don't think that I'm gonna go for his capital. I think that I'm just going to like stand around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much war score you have, but with 4. But if you get like 30 more from war goal, you should be on a good way to 100% pretty soon.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of do want to fuck it up, you know. I'm in a good position right now, and I shouldn't make mistakes.
Yeah, especially since I think in the long run Byzantium might be a bit better off than you, so you want to end it as soon as possible.
Oh yes, absolutely, because he's getting more money. Like, he has a bunch more trade than me, and he's also kind of stealing my trade. So
of course.
Horrible. Last session was so bad.
Yeah, but you fought for a long time. I never expected he would be able to hang on for so long. Like 20 years, or what was it?
Yeah. I'm big, you know. That's the only thing that I have going for me. And you know what lost me the war was not having enough forts. Like
definitely.
In last session. Holy shit, man!
Not just not enough, but they were like set up to defend against the West Europe.
Yes.
And they were just moving between them. But now you have perfect fort lines. It's looking great, gotta say.
But I'm losing so much money on them. You have no idea.
Yeah, but you actually like have just a few loans, so thank God for that Dutch money.
Yes, well, you know, we are allies, so. but also at the same time, Byzantium got the same thing. What did you say?
We still don't have Mawar in game.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. It's starting soon, so better be quick. Let's see where's Mawar. Is he in voice? Oh, it's not Bob that hosted me. Alright, it's the Russian guys.
So when you stream, you basically talk to yourself, or you're not commenting anything when you're alone?
I mean, I basically talk to myself, yes. I just love the sound of my own voice. But lately, either Kafal or XVR were in for most of the streams.
Okay.
So just not today. Where's that Mawar?
Isn't he a sub?
Yeah, he is, but well, he's supposed to be here.
So, can you tell me what happened while I was fighting? I know that there was a French war, but was there anything else?
So basically, Italy declared war for Algeria, and he was hoping to use that. We have a rule where if you 100% occupy a vassal, you can just force a peace. with
Yeah.
just vassals land, but it didn't really work out at all.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
It completely backfired. And yeah, and
So France had enough troops in Africa?
yeah, and Italy was kind of slow to even start attacking, and the French troops are super good,
Oh yeah.
like almost 12 morale and so on.
Are you kidding me? Holy shit.
Yeah, like if Byzantium was fighting France, their troops wouldn't even last a second. With 6 or 7 morale, I think Byzantium has.
So I have more morale than Byzantium?
Yeah, by a lot, like 2 or 3
Really?
morale more. Yeah.
Holy crap. But how? Because my prestige is like 20 or 30 or 40 below his. How's that possible?
Actually, didn't check the details, so I'm not sure actually.
I was expecting him to be like on equal morale with me, but okay. If you say
No,
that she's
just
like 2 below.
check out during the next battle.
No
still-
time.
He is a bit better in other things, but the morale difference is pretty huge.
Maybe because I have a morale advisor right now, and maybe he got a discipline advisor.
Yeah, that's actually one of the possible outcomes. You probably have more army tradition than him because you were fighting a lot last war, so probably a lot of it is still there. And all the forts are actually giving you a bonus to army tradition as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Why aren't we starting still?
Wait, I'm gonna go to the main chat. Maybe they'll say.
I mean, everyone is ready up.
Because slaying is not there. Maybe
Oh, okay.
break or something.
Okay. So it's the smoke break, as always. I'm actually going to cover a sec as well. So be right back. Okay, looks like we're starting it again. Looks like everyone is in, but we don't have Mawar still for some reason. Okay. It's fine.
Do you mind if I stay in the call?
I think you should probably go.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I am commentating your war, so that would be a bit unfair.
Okay, yeah.
See ya. Okay, and Lithuania now crosses the 50%. They do have maximum ticking war score actually. Let's see what's the... It's +1 to Byzantium actually for from battles, but 4% is from the occupied forts, which are not really secured possessions. But actually Lithuania is going to need a bunch of more territory to actually start demanding stuff properly from Byzantium. How much can Lithuania take in a single war? All of it is their core, so it should be fairly cheap. Right? Yeah, all of it is their cores. But actually not really. How much do they have absolutism? They have a lot. And with the tech as well. Maybe if I checked it on their end it would be more. It's like a bit less than I would expect. Definitely less than I would expect. Now they're actually sieging a bit more to the east, and I think it's way more reasonable. Lithuania is doing a cute little occupation here as well. I mean, it's always something. If you can spare the attention, it's always good to do stuff like this. And now let's see what's going to be the next target. Byzantium is almost getting their armies cut in two in here. Where are the forts? Yeah, so Lithuania can't really move any further. Yeah, actually Yedison I think is protected by Cherkasy and Birland. So unless Lithuania actually takes one of those forts, there's no real danger of getting cut in two. Oh, that's a huge recruitment drive. And it's mostly manpower troops, looks like. Oh! Lithuania is recruiting a lot of troops. That's going to be costing them probably quite a bit. Oh my god, they're recruiting so many troops. And I mean, to be fair, that's what they should be doing. They're still not losing as much money as Lithuania is. But that's going to be changing, I feel, pretty soon. Damn, now Byzantium has a lot of troops. Oh my god, still 200k more. They're going double over their force limit. Once they're finished, they're going to have 3000k more than Lithuania. But to be fair, that number's advantage is only going to be temporary, and very much so. I mean, like, they still have 4 more slackens, so they have above 1 million manpower left, but you run out of manpower very quickly. Byzantium does have more manpower recovery as well, so that's good for them. Oh, I didn't remove the thingy. Okay. And Lithuania is walking over Cherkasy, but not really going anywhere yet. Yeah, so that's going to be at least a temporary great advantage for Byzantium. I feel like right now it would be very good for Lithuania to start a battle, because if they could force a reduction in the numbers for Byzantium, they could delay the the strong point of Byzantium and lowered it as well. Because Byzantium is going kind of all in, not with their money, but with their manpower. But Lithuania is unaware of that, so they are starting to push right now. And yeah, actually they have only one province to reinforce, so if Lithuania really wanted, they could just assault this province. There are 3 cannon stacks for Byzantium, and they are going hunting. They want to get those Lithuanian stacks with infantry, and they might be getting one. But I feel like fighting right now is good for Lithuania. There's still a lot of troops of Byzantium in the back, but I mean, most of them are actually at the front, and they do have numbers advantage right now. A good start for... actually no, Lithuania has a cannon stack here, and a cannon stack here, and the third cannon stack of Byzantium is just sieging a fort, not doing anything, so that's all pretty good for Lithuania. And this is looking pretty nicely as well. And they actually caught like 2 stacks in here? That's perfect. That's exactly what Lithuania wanted. The reinforcements are coming. There are some troops withdrawing, but I think they are from the other battle, so that's fine for Byzantium. But yeah, even if Byzantium retakes this fort, they're going to lose this one, so it's 1 for 1. That's perfectly okay for Lithuania, who also wins 2 battles in the meantime. And they are even going to try and snipe some infantry, which they very well might be able to do. Okay, that was actually pretty bad for Byzantium, I feel. They still have a pretty good numbers advantage. Yeah, but Lithuania is losing less men from battles, naturally, because they are using more mercenaries. This is a pretty bad start for them, but yeah, they managed to reinforce in time. They are going to win this one eventually. Yeah, and Byzantium actually just withdraws. So this lowers the peak of Byzantine troops, so they're not going to have as many as they hoped. They still are going 400 over their force limit. But now they need to recover the troops. Still 200k difference already, and they're going to be regaining more, and they actually are still recruiting. Just 13k. They are starting to bleed money as well, but if in this regard Byzantium is still in a better position than Lithuania. Netherlands are at war with Incas? Oh, I guess they're going for Brazil. Fair enough. So yeah, Cherkasy is going to fall. Let's see if Lithuania continues to go east. I mean, both south and east are pretty viable, I feel, for Lithuania, because they're going through choke points, and I feel that's better for them, since apparently the player is getting kind of overwhelmed with all the micro. And yeah, they're doing pretty okay right now. Byzantium is not going to go down without a fight, and actually there's way more dead Lithuanians in battle, even when you take into consideration the attrition. And yeah, so he might be actually going for Constantinople in the end, so heading south, which does put Byzantium in a pretty awkward position where he has to shift a lot of his troops all the way from Crimea to Bulgaria, all the way around the Black Sea. And if he just started assaulting right now, he might be able to take it, but it's too late already. The Byzantine troops are getting there. Yeah, I think it's difficult for Byzantium to just control all of their troops, because they still have a few stacks just sitting in Georgia, not doing anything. And if they want to win, they need to actually make use of all the troops they have. Okay, they're going for battle in Silistria. This one I feel is going to be important, because now Byzantium has all the troops that they recruited. Some of them are still quite far away. Yeah, those troops are not doing anything, and those numbers are the difference between what Lithuania has and what Byzantium has. Yeah, starting a battle with a bit less troops, so the morale is taking a hit. They are not really able to snipe anything, because Lithuania can always reinforce through Bessarabia if they want to. I think at this point Byzantium for sure should go into Buzău anyways. But they're not really doing that. Okay, now Byzantium is moving the troops from Georgia as well. Not all of them still. And there's 120k not doing anything, not even sieging a fort. Well, there's a small gap in the Byzantine line, so there's a bit of efficiency lost with cannons. There's just some infantry sitting there not doing anything. They need to start reinforcing a bit faster. Oh, another hole in their line. Now it's even worse. Like they lost half of their artillery in the back row. They just need to go. Oh no. Oh no. And now they're just attacking with the second stack. I mean, they still do have a fair bit of troops, and there's almost 500,000 Lithuanians sitting here. But that's not that terrible for them. And they have a fair bit of reinforcements still. This 120k is not doing anything. There's still 40k in Shirvan. I feel like the Byzantines had a chance to really do a lot of damage, but they're just not using all the troops that they paid all the money for. There's no point to going twice over your force limit if it's difficult for you to micro those troops correctly. And I mean, it is very difficult to control their entire army in time when the sieges can be so fast and there are so many troops you have to maneuver, and you have to pay the attention to reinforcements all the time. But then going all in on the manpower might have been a bad move. I mean, he's still continuing to fight, and this battle does have a full back row probably. And he has a significantly better general. I mean, by 2 points. In shock, but still. But Lithuania still has so many reinforcements. They basically have equal reinforcements. And if Byzantium wins here, it's still better for Lithuania, I feel. Because Lithuania just survived through the power spike of Byzantium. I mean, still, the numbers for Lithuania are a bit lower, but once the mercenaries recover, it's going to be looking a lot better. Okay, looks like the numbers are now getting in favor of Byzantium, at least in row reinforcements. If those 80k make there, then Byzantium might be... Actually, wait, is Lithuania reinforcing on time? Oh damn, they're both breaking. But Lithuania made it, and actually the line recovered quite nicely. Byzantium now is breaking terribly. Oh god. Even if you reinforce it, it's not going to be too good. Yeah, because there's nothing. Yeah, the Poltava stack was just sitting there for entire time, not even sieging anything. And oh, actually Lithuania lost in the end, even though I thought it was... Did I mix up the front lines? I thought it was Lithuania that's front line that's breaking, but Maybe I was confused. Lithuania was running out of morale as well, but I think it was very close either way. Oh, there's so many dead Lithuanians. It's actually going to... yeah, it's going to the negatives. I wonder, is Lithuania really losing that many more troops in battles? I know the attrition doesn't really count for Byzantium because the fighting is mostly done on their territory, but still. Looks like Lithuania is losing a lot more troops. So now let's see. Oh, this recovery is going to cost Lithuania basically all of the manpower they have left. And right now they are 400,000 less down in infantry. That's because Byzantium basically went all in and went 400 over their force limit. And that does mean that they used basically all of the manpower reserves they have. They are in net zero right now. They will have to slacken once or twice, which means they will be out of manpower, out of professionalism. But still they will be able to recruit mercenaries at that point. So they will continue to have a fair numbers advantage over Lithuania. Yeah, both sides have free cannon stacks. Right now combat width is 40. And now Byzantium is starting to siege Hungary from the south, which is kind of weird because they could have just started the war with those sieges when Lithuania was going for southern Poland. Punjab is finishing Nepal, which is then AI here. Mamluks are attacking Mexico. What? Okay. And the Netherlands are fighting Inca to take Brazil. Okay, but it's definitely a difficult point for Lithuania now. They could actually get some levies from the nobles. That would be really good for them right now, because they're disloyal anyways. So that would be good. Additional 200k. Hopefully they actually see this. They talked with me during a break for a second, and apparently they're kind of overwhelmed by the late game micro, which, I mean, it's fair. Byzantium barely managed to gather all of their troops that they recruited for the power spike to fight in Silistria, and it was very close, I feel, in the end. Hello, Jack Meadow. Thanks for following. Are you one of the Russians? Or just a Twitch guy? And yeah, Byzantium will need to slacken. How are the nobles doing? Oh, actually, Byzantium has the nobles as well, with the rice additional levies available, but they're in a bit different situation because they are loyal for them. So they are getting plus 15% manpower recovery speed, which is it might be the difference between Lithuania and the Byzantium with the 15%. Yeah, hi. I was hosted by the Russian player from our campaign, who usually plays Mewar, but he's not here this week, like an hour ago, so I was thinking maybe you're one of those Russians. But apparently people are just joining random streams every now and then on Twitch, so who knows? Nope. Yeah, I think they all left by now. I don't blame them because apparently not too many of them speak English, so it would be kind of difficult to follow. Oh, there's something else going on, but I feel like it would be a fake war. What's actually going on? Italy is fighting Ireland. Eric's Fjord is an Italian culture? Oh, you're... It is Umbrian. Greenland is Italian, actually. Okay. Oh, you're from the Discord. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. There's a battle going on. If Lithuania having a jump start, it was actually Byzantium that attacked, and they have a crossing penalty, which it might be a first for them right now. we're actually finishing this campaign. Probably the next week is going to be the last oh, nice victory for Lithuania. Next week is going to be the last session because we're just running out of time in EU4. But I'm thinking that next campaign is probably going to be in New Year's actually. What is this war about? Yeah, I mean, they're actually fighting with their navies. What? It was started by Italians. I mean, Italy has a higher naval morale, so they should win, but maybe they should get a leader. From what I know about naval fighting, which is admittedly not that much, morale is king, and both sides are using their fleets properly, which is engaging when the previous fleet runs out of morale. It's important to note that we are still playing on 1.28, so the rules are different than in the current version of the game. The numbers are still better by 150k for Byzantium, and in the past it used to be that it was Lithuania that had the numbers advantage. But Byzantium does have the kind of weakening habit to... Yeah, admirals are neat, but especially with maneuver. Okay, now the Italians have a... Now Italians have an admiral in the fight. They are winning one battle at least, and I don't really see... And there's another stack of Irish fleet in the south. Oh, it's Friesland. Friesland is an AI, I think, still. Yeah. Apparently he's going to be back next week. What is this war? I don't think Italy has any chance of pushing into Ireland, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, for now it's all good, but with 16 heavies, they're not going to get anywhere, especially since, yeah, I mean, most of those ships are Malaya, and let's see, does Malaya care about this war? Oh, yeah, he built a Suez Canal probably for Malaya money. But yeah, once Malaya gets in here, and Malaya has proper naval ideas, so Malaya is going to crash faces. Naval and maritime. Oh, there are two battles going on with... Actually, Byzantium pushing on both of them. And looks like both sides have safe reinforcements points, and are all the... There are 3 cannon stacks for both sides. The line is breaking for Lithuania here, but they managed to get there in time. The half of their back row is infantry now, so that's kinda bad, but luckily now Byzantium is breaking. Good draw for Byzantium. Not enough. They might break in the north. Will they make it there in time? Yeah, I think they did, but there's still no cannons actually. Yeah, there are no cannons in the fight for Byzantium. They're getting trashed in here. And in here it's still good on cannons for both sides. Leader is better for Byzantium, but they have 120k sieging the fort in here. That's not really helping them in the long run, I feel. And Lithuania wins in Yedisan, and I feel they're gonna win pretty soon in Bender as well. Yeah, Byzantium is breaking, and it's done. And it was all... Yeah, the only troops on both sides not taking part in this battle was the 120k in Temes. And would that be enough to swing it in the Byzantines' favor? It's hard to say always. It's important to note that Lithuania is ahead in quality. They do have a lot more morale, but less discipline. That's probably partially why the losses are bigger or on Lithuanian side. Oh yeah, you can see that the enemy has lost 5 million men, but Lithuania has lost 700,000. That's because I think it goes into negative every 4.2 million. So it went negative for Lithuania, now it's going back into positive, and if Lithuania loses 3.5 million more men, it's going to go back into negatives yet again. So that's fun. AunD3 followed. Thank you. Are you a Twitch guy or Discord guy? I mean, I feel like with so many people following, we should be having no problems finding players, and here we are with Mewar and Friesland without subs for this session. Apparently, we had a sub for Mewar, but apparently he went to play Among Us, which, I mean, if he was to just sit and do nothing, then fair enough. And yeah, looks like Lithuania is able to win even in substantial numbers deficit, but right now it's actually looking worse and worse for Lithuania. Now they have half the numbers of Byzantium. Yeah, they're definitely out of manpower. Yeah, there's no threshold, to be honest. Like, we are in late game, so obviously only the players who have some idea how to play are left. But when we start in 1444 with like usually around 100 players, you get every level. And we are one of the more casual groups of EU4 players. Basically, like, it's just casual campaigns. There's no winner except one we just vote in the end for fun. Like, no actual point goal or anything like this. If you want, you can just hop in on Friesland, for example, and just see how it plays, or Mewar. Just ask your allies what to do. Now is a perfect time to just see how it works. If you never played multiplayer before, just to get used to the constant speed 2. And yeah, now all of Italy is being blockaded by Malaya, so I'm not sure what the purpose of that war was. Okay. Lithuania managed to recover a whole bunch of manpower. I'm guessing they recruited a bunch of they recruited a bunch of generals to get professionalism and then slacken, and now they're removing generals. If you have any questions, Jack Meadow, then just ask. If you don't know, for example, how to join the game or anything. And if you want to hotjoin, you... I mean, if you are on the server, then you probably see all that stuff. Yeah, but we're in the late game at this point. We rarely get this far into the game. Usually we end around the beginning of 1700s, like 1720, 1750 maybe. But because we're not going to start a new campaign before Christmas. Okay, sure, then maybe next campaign you can join. If you're on the Discord server, then you're and have the EU4 role, then you're going to get a ping. Hopefully I'll see you there. Anyways, what I was talking about? Oh yeah, we're not going to start a new campaign before Christmas because usually we take a break for Christmas and New Year's because most of the players cannot really play anyways. So we're going to start the next campaign in January. And now at least all that sieging is paying off for Byzantium. He took the 2 forts in Hungary and now he's starting to siege Prashev, which means that Lithuania might end up being outflanked by Byzantium and his cannon stack. But, I mean, if Lithuania actually sends some troops to defend, then he's going to be fighting on the Highlands fort, so it's going to be a difficult fight. Usually Byzantium is fighting with the advantage of terrain. And he's not really using... You could just send a few K to occupy those provinces because it's a fair amount of dev in here. Just to lower the manpower recovery of Lithuania. And yeah, Lithuania actually is sending reinforcements as well, but they're probably not going to be necessary. Yeah, it looks like in battles usually it's it depends of course on the rolls heavily, but Lithuania is taking more losses, but it's Byzantium that's going to withdraw because of the morale. Yeah, especially now since Lithuania sent additional 80k to reinforce, and Byzantium just kept a lone sieging stack. Looks like Byzantium tried to engage in the east as well, but didn't manage to catch Lithuania. It is a kind of a risky setup for Byzantium because, of course, Lithuania has no way to know it, and he doesn't have any fleet in the Black Sea to pay attention. But if he attacked east, then he only has 2 reinforcement stacks in here, and all of his actual troops are in Asia Minor, so it would take them a while to get there. How much till next stack for Biz? That's a good question, let's see. A while, yeah, that's going to be a while. It's going to be a big one though, so whoever takes this, it's going to be a easy win for them. Oh, Lithuania is actually starting battle here, which I think might be a bad idea, because they can reinforce a bit, yeah. I mean, there's not much he can spend the mill right now on, right? He's earning 12, so even if he's using a lot of... I mean, forced march is... Is it free at this point? Wasn't there something that makes it free? Oh yeah, the era power. He doesn't have much to spend it on, I feel. Can't take any more... Wait. He could just get... He doesn't have an idea group. What? Yeah, Lithuania has 4 military idea groups, and Byzantium is missing one. That's pretty bad for them. They should definitely spend all that mill just to get defensive, 2 first ideas and 15% more morale. That's exactly what they need right now, and that's... I mean, it is very busy war. How are the numbers looking right now? Byzantium has 400k more infantry at this moment. Okay, see ya, Jack Mido. So I think if he uses all of his troops, but half of his advantage is sitting in here, not doing anything. If he had a decent amount of transports in the Black Sea, then he could just switch his troops very quickly between those 2 points, but I mean, the way it is, he can start sieging Cherkasy, but I'm not sure. At least right now he has a lot of his troops very close to battle, so it will be easier for him to reinforce, but it's going to be still difficult. He cut his numbers advantage in half, basically. Lithuania does have a -1 from crossing, at least for the time being. And now, actually, the advantage in discipline for Byzantium increased to additional 5%, so 10% overall right now. And it is also affecting military tactics at this point, quite significantly. But the morale difference is huge as well, and morale is the thing that wins you battles. The question is, can Lithuania continue to fuel his armies for long enough to occupy enough of Byzantium? I mean, at this point he could just start stab hitting Byzantium if he only wanted to, if he felt that he cannot win anymore. Byzantium is saving up admin power though, it is at +3, so that's the thing. Let's actually see the numbers of... looks like Byzantium still has more reinforcements in here. So Lithuania definitely needs some good rolls at this point. And for the time being, I feel like Byzantium... Oh, now it's turning, of course. Just in time. So right now, Byzantium does have a lot of troops in reserve, unlike Lithuania, who basically has one cannon stack with some reinforcements. And Lithuania is not even going to reinforce this one, so it's... I mean, he still... Wait, does he even have like transports? No, he doesn't even have transports. It's just they just started passing the light ships with trade. He still has all of his troops in east, but he actually won this battle fairly convincingly. And he didn't even use all of his reserves. I mean, to be fair, Lithuania didn't as well. But yeah, Lithuania is going for a battle on the second stack. And they might... I mean, actually Byzantium is doing pretty well in this battle. I feel like they got some good rolls at the beginning. They're still getting... Both sides are getting very extreme rolls. Either 1s or 9s. Just, it keeps going. Lithuania might be able to win this one. In the end. Yeah. Still, it's of course better for Byzantium to win Cilicia, but yeah, why keep even 200k troops in here if they just sit, do nothing, and then just get beaten? Yeah, that's the problem. And to be fair, now Byzantium is continuing to maintain the huge numbers advantage over Lithuania, who is consistently struggling to recover his manpower. And actually he could recruit a lot more mercs, and I feel like definitely he should be doing this. I'm not sure if he's aware how big is his deficit when it comes to numbers. And to be fair, Byzantium is kind of struggling now as well. He could use nobility still. And I feel like he will be burning military mana to get professionalism and regain manpower. I think he just did that, right? And he still has 50k mercenaries available and definitely should start doing that. Okay, Lithuania recruited some mercs, but I would just go for all of them. Definitely. Yeah, now that Byzantium actually went really all out when it comes to numbers, it's difficult for Lithuania to continue pushing. But the war is in favor of Lithuania since the war goal in Henchine, that's going to be pretty difficult to take for Byzantium, especially since Lithuania still controls the forts in northern Hungary. But those two forts actually are reducing the... it's only 2 war score in the end, but it's something. Oh, Lithuania could upgrade their artillery unit, and they definitely should do that. I wonder for how long were they behind. Oh, there looks like there's going to be an Asian war. I'm pretty sure it's not going to involve any. Oh, it's not a Asia war. It's Italy declaring war on Taiping to get crusading bonus, because Italy is actually still Catholic. We're playing with a mod to mostly bring stuff from 1.30 to 1.28, so Catholics are actually pretty decent. They might be going for... No, the truce ends in 5 years with France, so I'm not quite sure. I'm They're going for Mamluks? Oh damn. Oh damn. It seems Mamluks were aware that this is going to happen, so it's a friendly fight, but I feel with last time the Mamluks troops were actually better than Italian ones. And they still have that numbers advantage over them as well, so I mean, Italy is a very small nation compared to a lot of others. I think it's basically the weakest nation in the world, maybe not counting Ireland, which is a trading nation anyways. And now Italy has the higher morale, probably because of the crusade, but discipline is safely higher for Mamluks by almost 15%. Lithuania is going for another charge, and yet again they just beat the eastern part of the Byzantine army. Yeah, but that's because the vast majority of the Greek army is in Balkans and Asia Minor, so they have no way of reinforcing this part. And if Lithuania actually realizes that like every fort at this point is very important. If Lithuania takes Crimea and Mansur and like Kuban just to secure all of it, then that's a lot of war score for them, and fairly easily too. Byzantium is going hunting with 120k. There are some forts limiting their access though. Not really getting anywhere. Punjab is the Italian war. Okay. Malaya is in the Italian war. This battle is still going, but Italy just managed to reinforce in time. It is scorched earth. So the reinforcements for Italy are a bit delayed. Yeah, but I thought that there's no way Italy is going to win a war versus Mamluks. And Mamluks should definitely send additional stack from the south, because this there's just so little access in North Africa fighting like this. Italy might be actually led by a desert fox, a German as well, but it might not be enough. Oh, there's a battle actually going in the south, so it's better for Byzantium, that will be able to reinforce quite easily. Byzantium is going a bit... Actually, no, they're going to Bratslav, so they're going to be... That's a good battle for Lithuania, and Byzantium actually didn't reinforce in time, so they're getting stack wiped at least once, maybe even twice. Let's see. Oh, maybe even 3 times. Oh, that's bad for Byzantium. Oh, that's bad. And you see, Lithuania is actually bringing all of their troops into battle immediately, even though they had some shielding troops in northern Hungary. That was pretty bad for Byzantium. They still have 200k advantage in infantry, which is what actually matters when it comes to numbers. So that was quite bad for Byzantium, but yeah, and as that battle was going on, there was over 200k just sitting in Circassia. And that's, I think, a big difference between Byzantium and Lithuania. Lithuania is bringing all of their troops to battle all the time. And it is true that Byzantium is in a bit worse position, because Lithuania is limiting access between those two halves, but maybe... Where are the forts here, by the way? No, Cherkasy is limiting access. So Byzantium would have to actually assault the fort to actually get there, and it would be difficult, but maybe that would be the strategy, to start a huge battle, keep pouring reinforcements in, and then just assault the fort in like Cherkasy, or even just assault any fort. Even if you lose a battle but you get the fort out of it, that's I feel good for Byzantium. And yeah, now Mamluks are just spreading. They actually are gaining very precious ground to spread their reinforcement stacks. There's going to be so many dead from attrition. And yeah, at this point Italy has 1/3 of Mamluks' army. And I'm pretty sure that not even all of the Mamluk's army is fighting. There's 45k here, so 100k. They're actually doing way better job that they did during the French. There's still 100k of Mamluks sitting in South America. God, for like the last 20 years. And yet again, the small stack of Byzantium is getting pushed back with not achieving anything. And the difference between the two is starting to get smaller. But Lithuania still didn't upgrade their artillery. I wonder how long ago did they upgrade to 29? Is someone still on 28? Actually, let me see. What was the tech? Yeah, it's basically just artillery. So basically, Lithuania is fighting as if they were Miltech behind, which is pretty unfortunate. They are actually getting a call for peace for the Byzantine War, right? It's for that one. This is actually kind of bad for Lithuania. They are doing okay when it comes to war exhaustion actually, and they do have Diplomata to spare, so that's not too big of a deal. And yeah, now Lithuania is just casually pushing into east, and there's not much Byzantium can do. It's very good for Byzantium that Lithuania can't actually see all of those troops walking. Actually, let me see, can they see? They for sure saw some movement, because I'm pretty sure they had cannon stacks at the front. And they can see there's more troops over here. Still, that was a pretty bad start for Byzantium, I'm not sure why. But it didn't really work out. And Lithuania should be moving their troops right now, or maybe they're thinking right now. They're sending some troops. Yeah, that's the problem for them. They have no information about the Byzantine army. And Byzantium is not just going one way or the other, they are splitting their armies. So this is adding another layer. It's not just whose army is better, it's also whose split is better. As in who has more troops in places where actual battles are happening. And Lithuania is doing a cute little thing with attacking Kuban first. So once they take Kuban, they don't have to worry about Crimea. They will basically secure it. Byzantium is going to try and contest that one. Hopefully Lithuania actually consolidates their troops. I'm not sure if they managed to. Hard to say. I don't think they did. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they actually managed to consolidate. And they need to reinforce quickly, because they are losing a lot of troops because of their low-powered regiments. And now Lithuania is thinking that all of the Byzantine troops are in the east, so they're pushing into Silesia, which actually might end up being a bad idea, because Byzantium is actually still keeping most of their troops in Silesia. Yep. They can already see a lot more Byzantine troops in here. I think they will win in the east though. And Byzantium actually needs to reinforce on time. No, it's Lithuania that's getting pushed back. There's 100k of Lithuanian troops sitting in the back. They need to move them forward, even if they aren't going to join immediately. They just need to be in range to reinforce battles. And in the east it's getting kinda close, but Lithuania is going to reinforce, and Byzantium is beaten back to Shirvan. And now more troops are heading east for Byzantium. I feel it's constantly Byzantium not using their numbers advantage fully. Oh, is Mewar getting invaded by everyone? Because it's an AI? It's unfortunate. Yeah, Punjab and Malaya are invading them. So, I mean, the AI Mewar is probably not going to put much of a fight, I feel. And Hong Kong as well. Still, it is a player-built nation. It has a lot of cash, a lot of manpower, and actually a lot of troops. So if Punjab is not careful, he might lose a few battles. But he is taking appropriate care after some difficulties with Nepal. And yeah, actually Mamluks are finishing Italians in here. Italians did manage to win a battle on Caravan, but it's just delaying stuff, I feel, not changing actual war. And now Byzantium is going to northern Hungary, and at the same time Lithuania is pushing east. The central part of the front is completely empty. And Lithuania can see that a lot of Greek troops are heading straight toward Prussia. Yeah, so basically the Bulgaria is completely open right now, but it is fairly easy to switch from here to here, but there's only one cannon stack, so that's a small problem for Byzantium. Luckily Lithuania is not really trying to exploit it. I think at -1 for Byzantium, Lithuania should be win fairly convincingly, but it also depends on the numbers. And it looks like Byzantium has just a few K more in here. So in the end, Lithuania should win. Yeah, at the same time, Lithuania is sieging Manich, and it looks like they're withdrawing all of their troops to the west. So they're not aware that they must be thinking that the entire Byzantine army is in Hungary, which is actually not true at all. Yeah, Lithuania will win this battle fairly convincingly, I feel. And it would be pretty nice for them if they manage to recover the southern force in here, and preferably at least I mean, Severin and Silistra would be perfect, because then they could combine their fronts. Right now it is kind of difficult to defend both Hungary and Moldavia. It would be very lucky for Lithuania to capture this fort, but looks like the Byzantines... Oh, the Byzantines are actually waiting. And luckily for Byzantium, Lithuania doesn't get the fort. Now Lithuania is going back east. Yeah, Lithuania just doesn't know where the enemy is, so he's just kind of standing confused. What do I do? Meanwhile, in Tunisia, Mamluks actually assaulted. It's level to 4, so it's very easy to take. There's still quite a few Italians in here, but yeah, I don't really see them defending. I would actually manage to push Mamluks from Biskria, which is a bit surprising, but they have still have the numbers of Mamluks. Meanwhile, Mewar is not doing too hot. Actually going to engage with a proper stack. I wonder how this is going to go. Yeah, AI is just not dealing with micro at late game at all. Just running around like headless chicken with stacks that are mostly artillery. That's the problem, as players have some problems with micro, but AI is just unable to do anything. Like, what is this stack supposed to be doing? Just instantly dead, all of them. It looks like Byzantium was able to push Lithuania from the east. Yeah, that's a big problem for Lithuania, that he doesn't have the intel on the enemy positions. But he could still use it to his advantage with just using all of his army in one place and forcing Byzantium to take battles. And it looks like he might be going for the capital. And by the way, the battles are -14 to Byzantium. And he's at -80 at this point, so Lithuania is very close to ending this war. I mean, actually it took him, what, 5-10 years to get the 30 war score from battles and occupations, so it actually might be a while. Let's see how the stuff like manpower and so on are doing. Byzantium is like in an okay spot when it comes to manpower. You know, Lithuania is kind of struggling, and he ran out of military power as well. He needs 100, so like half a year to get 5 professionalism to get another Slacken. Oh, I think he just barraged. Yeah, he used the barrage. And he took the manpower from nobles as well, so Lithuania now is in a very tough spot. He's really close to just being all out. He actually has 100 available mercenaries, so he should definitely just recruit them instantly. As soon as he can spare attention. He is using templates. Nice names. Lithuania is losing this battle for the time being, and meanwhile, how many troops are in the east? 250k, a bit more. A lot of them are already in the area, so that's good for them. And yeah, Byzantium actually got over 1 million troops. I think if Byzantium reinforces properly, they should be able to win this battle, and from there it's going to get really difficult for Lithuania to do anything other than continue to delay. I mean, to be fair, Byzantium doesn't have that much more manpower as well, because he has like 100k left right now. He can get one more Slacken with his military power. But after that, he's going to be basically in the same position as Lithuania is. And right now they have, like, Byzantium has 50k more reinforcements in here. Maybe 100k, in which case it might be more difficult. But actually the general for Lithuania is 6-6, so he has a better general. But he is fighting at -1 crossing. And Lithuania is actually diverging some of their troops. Maybe to go towards the Mansur fort. And yeah, he's withdrawing and going to attack the stacks to the east. Which, I mean, if he gets there on time, he should be winning those battles, because there's nothing else there. But Byzantium should be using this time to actually take some forts. In here as well. Meanwhile, Italy actually pushed Mamluks a fair bit to the back. But this time it looks like Mamluks actually got a proper battle going on. Italy still has manpower somehow. It's doing okay on loans for his current state. At least he's not going bankrupt anytime soon. Yeah, Mamluks could just send... I'm not sure who has the naval dominance out of the two. it might be that Italy has higher naval morale and it's just securing the seas. But right now there's 100k more Mamluks, and actually the numbers are fairly close, but Italy is kind of far. And they're breaking, they're actually not going to just make it on time. But yeah, what are happened to Mamluk numbers? I mean, on paper they still have... Oh, I mean, that's one part of it. And actually those stacks sitting there are a significant part of Mamluk's army now. Yeah, Lithuania got really pushed back. They did manage to hold on to their forts to the east. And now he's recruiting mercenaries, I bet. Yeah, he's basically going all in on mercenaries, which... Oh, he's actually in a kind of bad spot when it comes to loans. He has a fair amount of money still, but it's not looking pretty. Meanwhile, Byzantium took only one loan. And Byzantium, I think, is losing more, but still, Byzantium can take 150. And Lithuania is almost all out. Like 30 more for Lithuania, if I recall. Actually, yeah, 35, 36. And Lithuanian numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Oh, and he even slackened and he's still that much behind. Unless he used his mill on something else. But I think what he did was, instead of slackening, he recruited mercenaries, so his army professionalism lowered anyways. Which is unfortunate, because that means he's 250,000 men in debt. And Byzantium is in manpower debt as well. But he still has nobles and he still has military power. So Lithuania, I think Lithuania might want to stop hitting at this point. Yeah, but he could take mostly southern Poland. Something cheap. I guess 5 war score. I guess all of those provinces are 20 death or something. And 19, actually. Yeah, how much could he take with 100 though? Not that much, honestly, but maybe because he's not going for imperialism. So this lowers the amount that is available to him. And yeah, Mewar is struggling. He's actually fighting a decent battle in here. Yeah, he's actually winning versus Punjab, at least in some battles. Yeah, he won 2 so far, so that's something. The fleets was ravaged by Malaya, and Hong Kong was unopposed in his current invasion. How is Italy doing? Oh, Italy is actually doing fairly okay right now, but he has 50k in reinforcements and Mamluks have 160. He still defended way longer than I would expect from Italy. I guess he had some bad luck in the first battle because, or maybe Mamluks just didn't reinforce, like regain their actual troops on the field properly. Yeah, there's not much left. And once this fort falls, there's nowhere the Italians can regroup. And the Dutch are invading as well, because they're just going to be unopposed. And yeah, the cannons are breaking for Italy. It's all breaking. And it's done. And they're actually going into some bad directions as well. I think Lithuania managed to push back some... No, there were no troops in the east from what it looks like. He might be able to take Kuban, but he definitely wants to keep Prashev in his hands. Because, I mean, if Byzantium goes all in on the war goal, then he can get there. It's only like 2 forts, so it's not impossible. Oh, it's the Lithuanian separatists. Good timing. I'm not sure where they're going to go. But yeah, Byzantium is sending most of their army to Hungary. He is keeping a lot of infantry in the east, but they don't even have a cannon stack anywhere, so that's just wasted troops, not really doing anything. But even with all of those troops here, Byzantium has advantage. Lithuania is just so poor when it comes to manpower right now. If you manage to get some good wins on Byzantium, then Byzantium would be in a similar position. But like 3 stack wipes and they would be close to even, maybe. When it comes to manpower in the bank, but still there's the problem of having twice the numbers. Okay, Lithuania is starting to stab hit. Which is, I feel, a good approach at this point. And yeah, Italy is going to slowly fall. He is trying to gather his armies in Tunis, but yeah, it's just the numbers, man. Probably not going to happen. So now Lithuania is going to try and focus on protecting what they already have. No, they still have 3 cannon stacks. Where are the Byzantine cannon stacks? There's 1. You should have 2 more cannon stacks somewhere. What? It's all infantry in here. What? I don't want to just go through all of them, but all the infantry. Oh, there are those stacks actually have some cannons in them. And now Byzantium is preparing for an advance on the eastern flank. That was a piece, but I have no idea which one was it. Now France is invading South America as well. Byzantium pieced out Hong Kong. I'm not sure. They were allied to Mewar, maybe? Yeah, probably. And Mewar is going to suffer a lot from those wars if they end within the next 30 minutes, which I mean probably should happen, but it is a lot of player wars. Oh, actually, Punjab already... What did Punjab take? Is that it? I guess he secured his access to the steppes for himself. So Moore didn't really lose that much, which is nice. It might mean he will be played next session. And Lithuania is just focusing on defending the war goal at this point. Which I think is fair. Yeah, he really needs to focus on defensive battles at this point. He has some decent defensive terrain right in here. And the access is going to be difficult for... Actually, it's going to be really difficult for Byzantium because he cannot reinforce from this province unless he goes from Prashev itself because of the Trenching Fort, which is Mountain Fort, which I'd guess it makes it basically impossible to assault for him. And if he, for example, attacks from Prashev into Nowy Sącz, then the army from Przemysl can just cut him off from reinforcements and end the battle in Nowy Sącz, which is pretty key. Advancing through Hungary is going to be very difficult for Byzantium. And if Lithuania takes some good enough battles that he lowers the advantage of the Greeks. But yeah, at the same time, he is pushing in the east, so that pretty much secures his position. Yeah, he almost has twice the numbers of Lithuania at this point. And he's regaining... actually, Lithuania is regaining slightly more, but it's irrelevant, because probably of the nobles... Oh, the Byzantium still has nobles. I'm not sure, maybe war exhaustion on one of those? No, they both have pretty low war exhaustion, so I'm not sure what happened. Mavruks are still having some problems. Okay, but they did manage to go around the fort because of the Kiev fort, which... Oh, that's lucky for Italy. Yeah, they're going to cut off this this battle and then... well, they win this one, maybe even both, eventually. Let's see how the Chinese... Yeah, as long as they do not allow AI to pour forces into a single battle, they should win very easily with just cannon stacks, sniping armies of Noir. The difference is quite staggering in casualties in battles. At least it should be. This one is pretty bold. If Mawar actually attacked with his troops, he would just maybe even stack up those armies, but AI is gonna AI. You never know what they're gonna do. And I think the way it is currently looking, Byzantium is feeling confident in just keeping the Lithuanian army in here and then just sieging stuff. But at the same time, Lithuania has enough war score to just at least to 50%. So Byzantium will need to win some fights. And once they get to equal numbers, then it's going to, I feel, favor Lithuania a bit more, because Byzantium will continue to have a small advantage in numbers, but it's not going to be nearly as high after some battles, I feel. But still, Lithuania is consistently losing more men per battle. I guess the Malaya troops are on the ship. Correct, they actually didn't get stack wiped. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, the problem is Byzantium has a lot of admin power. It's going to be a while before they actually get forced out. That's a good move, because there's not that many Byzantine troops in here. And yeah, there's actually just naked cannon stacks. So they actually have way less than... It's actually 160k infantry, because cannons do not really count for much. You need cannon stack, but you need only one, and that's it. For battle, I mean. Italy is still hanging on to Tunis itself, because Mavros cannot access this province, but once Caravan falls, it's going to be it. And I feel like they might even end up being annexed, and they get even 99%. Mavros could just peace out, but they cannot sue for peace for provinces they do not occupy, so they probably want at least all of Africa at this point. And they probably should be able to get it once they actually get the occupations. which will give them a border with France, which might be a bit difficult. Yeah, it's actually just 50% war score, so if they manage to get some more occupations, it would be quite nice for them. And so the final reinforcements of Italy go, and they have nothing else, just 2k sitting here, and a pretty decent navy apparently. But not much they can do versus so many Mamluks. Meanwhile, Lithuania is recruiting more troops. I think. I wonder how he was able to get a bunch more troops, a bunch more manpower. I'm not. Oh, I think he just used the nobles just now. The war has been going for some time now. Mamluks have 99%, so they could force a peace, but they probably want all of North Africa, so they need to finish the sieges. So how are the numbers looking now for Lithuania? They are increasing. So the situation is getting better, I feel, for Lithuania. The question is, how are they doing money-wise? They're still doing okay. Okay, the final fort in Tunisia has fallen. Wait, but if he wants to take those three, then he actually needs to occupy them. Let's see if he's aware of that. Yeah, only siege provinces. That's correct. This Byzantium-Lithuania war is very interesting how it's developing, because they're very, I feel, even matched. Byzantium is a bit stronger when it comes to economy and manpower, but Lithuania is a bit stronger when it comes to actual army quality. And the terrain is kind of interesting as well. Lithuania is all out of mercs. Byzantium still has actually a 50k mercs. And at the point where you're out of professionalism, I feel that using old mercs is very important, because you're just saving more manpower in this way. Yeah, it looks like Mamluks actually decided to finish the war. Wait, what? France is joining on the fun as well. And they are actually going to try and fight the Italian navy. And the French morale increased quite a bit in the meantime. They are not really fighting properly with their heavies, they have way too many, I feel. And the Dutch heavies are way too many as well. And what are the Mamluks doing? They want... Oh! Oh! What? Excuse me? Okay. And yeah, France just instantly declares on Algiers. And we're at this... Oh, I guess he took Cyprus? That's, I think, the only province he took... Yeah, that's the only province he took for himself, and then just freed a bunch of nations everywhere. Okay. Okay, Lithuania is going to fight Byzantium in the east. How the Byzantium has a fair numbers here, so I guess over 100k more in here, and Lithuania is bringing decent numbers. Both sides are sitting on the western front, all quiet on the western front. But how will it go to here, I wonder? It might go either way. The Lithuanian advantage in morale is growing, but the discipline advantage did grow as for Byzantium as well. So I'm not sure who will end up winning this. It's definitely important that both sides reinforce properly. And the numbers advantage for Byzantium might prove crucial. It's a neutral terrain bonus, and actually Byzantium at the same time is going for a battle in the west, and oh, Lithuania is not paying attention. They're going to lose a battle on Nowy Sącz without even contesting it that much. I mean, to be fair, if Lithuania just attack right now, with the almost 500,000 men in one province, they would be doing pretty well. Oh, they won in the east, but okay, now they're actually attacking, and okay, Byzantium, will he manage to get out of there? Yeah, he will, because the province is... no, it isn't. This one is scorched. Okay. Still, Lithuania did manage, okay, to catch at least 300k, which lowers the amount of benefit the Byzantines get from their numbers advantage. Both sides have... there's some infantry in the back row of Lithuania, but it's not that much, but hurts a bit either way. There's a lot more Byzantine troops, but they have much lower morale, and the terrain advantage goes to Lithuania, to be fair. And they're bringing more troops from the east. They get there in time, and I'm pretty sure Byzantium will not have the micro to... and even moving with the just cannon stack is going to be quite risky. Oh, they're just going back, never mind. Let's see, it looks like... I think Lithuania is going to win this one. Looks the reinforcements are fairly even on both sides. And they are starting to push in Manich. And this battle is going to be probably pretty decent for war score, I'm sure. Yeah, there's still 80k, and half of it is cannons, but in a pinch you can always put cannons in the front line. And yeah, the 6-6 general for Lithuania is definitely paying its weight in gold over time. Yeah, there's nothing left for Byzantium. The cannon stack is still running in there. Definitely not something you want to just move in front of your enemy. And okay, Lithuania won. That was like, what, 3-4 war scores, this one battle? And they might get a 4th in the end from this as well. Oh, but Byzantium does have enough... Actually, Byzantium has almost 500,000 troops in the east. And they still almost won. Yeah, they still have giant numbers. And do they have still nobility? Yep. Yeah, I hate that it continues to switch the context sensitivity on. Yeah, so Lithuania won battle, and now in the east I don't think they will be able to repeat their success. Not with the Byzantine numbers. I mean, with the number of mercenaries Lithuania is employing, they're not doing that bad actually. It's actually Byzantium that's going to go into negatives right now. Oh, that's very bad. A stack away for Lithuania. That hurts. That hurts bad. Lithuania needs to continue stab hitting, I feel, because I don't think they can get to 100%. They are close, but I don't think they can get there. But with so much admin power for Byzantium, I'm not sure if they will be even able to do anything with it. So Italy is fighting, I guess. He's moving his troops to his Anatolian holdings. And yeah, there's France just took Algiers yet again. Now they're looking like proper France. The Chinese are occupying Mewar. Mewar actually won 3 battles overall. Pretty nice for an AI. And it looks like Taiping troops are already moving out. What did Malaya get from this war? I guess maybe trade? I'm not sure. Money, maybe? I mean, Mewar is still good on money. The thing that is actually... The thing that's actually going to hurt the Mewar the most in the next session is going to be out of manpower. Okay, let's see what Byzantium is planning. He's starting a huge offensive in the east. And he's going to get stack right in here, which is very good. Oh, that's actually a cannon stack. That's going to be expensive and costly in manpower for Byzantium. Yeah, I don't think in this kind of situation you can afford to just send naked cannon stacks. I think it's, especially since he has so many stacks in the air, anyways, just keep some mercs with them to save, if you want to save manpower. Yeah, Lithuania retook Prashev, which, I mean, yeah, I think it's good for them because of the war score, but the setup when Byzantium controls Prashev to continue pushing is very difficult for them. But I guess then Lithuania needs one less cannon stack in here so they can move more to the east. Oh, hello, White Nose Gamer. Any advice for where to start if you're a beginner? I mean, definitely it's kind of difficult for me to put myself in your shoes because I played from the 1.0 version, so all the feature creep that happened over time is kind of came natural to me. But where to start? I mean, first of all, it depends if you want to get into single player or multiplayer, because the way you play those two is kind of different, I think. Because, for example, in multiplayer you don't really worry about expanding too much, because especially when there's more players, we are at the end of the game at this point. And some nations, I mean, all of the nations are pretty small. Like, at this point in single player you can be fairly close to world conquest, and we still have a lot of nations that are, let's say, relatively medium-sized compared to single player. So that's the first thing, is if you want to play single player, then focus on that, and if you want to play multiplayer, then focus on that, obviously. And they are not the same things. For example, you can easily play single player without taking any loans, and in multiplayer you need loans. For example, Byzantium here already took 10 loans and Lithuania took 46 loans. And I feel like just play it. If you really feel like you're missing some stuff, then read, watch some tutorial videos on YouTube. I'm sure there are some. I made some basic information about multiplayer combat and like some basics about forts, because that's a difficult mechanic to grasp at the beginning, I feel. What else? The wiki is definitely something you want to check out, and also you don't feel like you need to know everything. Like a lot of nations have unique events or mechanics just for them, and for example, I still have no idea how the Indian estates work, and it doesn't really matter to me because I never play in India anyways, so and it's not even a problem for me for multiplayer. And yeah, and if you want to play multiplayer, then just start playing multiplayer and just talk with people whenever you have a problem. Just ally someone and suck their experience from them. And then you'll learn really fast. That's the best way to learn. Just have someone in voice constantly with you, answering your questions. And you can't really do it in single player, but in multiplayer it's very much doable. Okay, looks like Byzantium is actually going for a pretty bold push in central Ukraine. Getting caught by Lithuania, and both sides have their reinforcements kind of staggered, but they will make it on time. Unless they want, I guess. I think it's Byzantium just withdrew. So the white-nosed games, do you think I answered your question? Because as I said, it's difficult for me to realize how difficult it is to get into EU4 at this point. When was, like, I think EU4 was released 6 years ago or 7 at this point. It was a completely different game back then. No, looks like the Netherlands took a nice chunk of Austria and Hungary from Italy, and now Italy is going to be, at least the rest of it, conquered by France, looks like it. Can France take... I feel like he should be able to take most of it. It depends, I mean, if you actually want some land in Africa. I don't think he will be able to take all of Italy, because of the, like, those provinces are very high dev. But in here... yeah, I mean, pretty much everything. Except the most valuable provinces and islands. I was checking something. Yes, looks like Byzantium is withdrawing for the time being, and I mean, there's a strange thing. Byzantium has had a pretty much consistent numbers advantage for the last 10 years of this war. It feels like it's been already 20. Oh, he might get a revolution if he doesn't do something about it. Oh, that's actually very bad for him, because he needs to have stability 3 to stop this disaster, but getting stab over +1 costs you more. Actually, stab increasing his stability is very cheap for him. He has a lot of reductions. I'm not sure why Byzantium is just hanging back. Maybe he's hoping that Lithuania will eventually go bankrupt, but that's not going to happen. At least as long as they don't fight. Lithuania will force Byzantium out of this war first. How much is he taking? Yeah, basically this area. So he connects to his promises in Hungary. Oh, there's a war between Mamluks and Malaya? Oh, Malaya is fighting for Mexico. Yeah, it's impossible for Mamluks to do anything about it, that Mexico is just going to go to Malaya. I'm surprised that no one declared another war on Incas yet. I guess the truce runs out in a year. Lucky them. And yeah, we're ending the session in 4 minutes. So looks like the war between Lithuania and Byzantium is not going to be finished. So at least it's something to look forward to in the next session. We should have a comeback of Mewar, who might be a bit pissed about his neighbors taking land from him. But it will be difficult for him to do anything with no manpower, but he does have some professionalism to start and a lot of money in the bank. I mean, this war is actually going to continue, so once the actual Mewar player comes back, he might be able to just kick Hong Kong out. I wouldn't be surprised. Then why is AI so bad? The morale is kind of low for... Oh yeah, no policies for Mewar. Once again, Lithuania is going for a slight push to the east. But just withdrawing as soon as he sees Lithuanian troops. I'm not sure what the plan at this point is for Byzantium. And the numbers are getting closer and closer for the both of them. Byzantium still only has 1 cannon stack. Which means he has 1 in the west and 1 in the east, and Lithuania could just use his additional cannon stack to outflank Byzantium. And everyone is apparently at war, but most of those wars are kind of meaningless. Yeah, like those 2 are for Crusades, and I'm not sure what's the Dutch typing war. Except for that the typing fleet is going to die in the seas, but okay. Byzantium trying to push in Cherkasy yet again. Also going for... Oh, that's all Byzantium's cannons in 2 different places. And if there's one way to recover or maybe reduce the difference in manpower between 2 sides, the best one is stack wipes. Okay. I guess White Nose Games didn't really end up answering me in the end. Unfortunate. And Lithuania is going back to the east. Typing didn't even notice all of his fleet is getting sunk at the coast of Sri Lanka. Yeah, I feel this war is just going to end once eventually Byzantium runs out of admin power. And he actually kind of is already. He's having some problems with conflicts and disasters as well. Yeah, right now he might take like half a year more, or a year. Yeah, if Byzantium wants to just accept the end of this war with the way it is, I would just accept the peace in this case. That's kind of weird play. Staying in this war, in this kind of situation. How much? The French will end up getting 99. Oh, they're not getting war score. So if they want to get 100%, they actually have to go for those provinces in here. So they would need to get access either through Byzantium or Mamluks, and I feel like one of those would give them access. Oh, we have Armenia as well on the map, thanks to Mamluks. Okay, Byzantium. Yeah, Byzantium is moving into siege stuff, but I'm thinking that he really feels that Lithuania is going to go bankrupt, maybe pretty soon. Because if he wants to stay in this war, then he needs to push as hard as he can right now. He needs to regain over 20 war score. So he would not only need to retake all the occupations, but also win some battles. I mean, actually not necessarily, because he does have some occupations of his own. But still he needs to recover a lot. I'm not really sure that's doable for him. Yeah, and the difference in numbers is still kind of huge, but Byzantine army is split in two. And Lithuania has could possibly unite on one front. Yeah, so it's like it's the session end for this week. So looks like the next session is going to be over, since we have only 36 years left in game anyways. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get 36 years in one session. It would be hard without going speed 3 at some points. But we might do a bit longer session just to get to 1821. We'll see. It would be kinda cool to play one campaign till the end for once. We never end in actual 1800s, usually in 17. Yeah, it's still looking fairly decent. I mean, Italy is probably going to die. At which point we still have a decent amount of strong nations. Oh, Hong Kong very smartly pieced out Mewar before the player actually comes back. And Mewar is still very strong. Still very good manpower recovery, still very rich, still very good army quality once he actually is applied properly. Taiping is still super strong, Hong Kong is super strong, Malaya is super strong, but it's a naval nation, so it doesn't really count. Incas are kind of dying, and Friesland is okay, and Ireland is as well, so we could still see some stuff next session. So that's good. Yeah, and especially I'm interested about the Lithuania-Byzantine War, what is going to happen. The players will get a look at the save, so they will know what's the situation of the other party. And I'm interested to see what they decide based on the new information. Okay, so that's going to be it for me for this week. I'm going to be back next week. I'm pretty sure there's nothing I have planned. So thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Q-Team.